Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Mic check, mic check, mic check. What's up, everybody? We got a nice little watch party we got going on today, like I promised. Liam Paro versus Richardson Hitchins. Navarrete versus Valdez 2. Espinosa versus Robies 2. Yes. So, I skipped a lot of the undercards, and we're getting straight into the meat and potatoes today, just because, no shade to the undercards, but it just wasn't one of those nights. But 3 championship fights is one of those nights, all right? I wouldn't really say it's the prospect undercard night. It's 3 great fights going on. So while you guys are coming in, I'm getting the stream already. We're gonna watch, we're gonna react. Pretty simple, straightforward stream. We're gonna do Liam Paro versus Richardson Hitchins. That will be coming up, and then we'll be able to watch Robies versus Espinosa 2, and then after that we'll end it off with Navarrete Valdez 2, if these fights don't collide with each other. So while you guys are coming in, let me know where you guys are at, where you're from. I did see the upsets as well, the prospects that lost, so we can talk about that later on too. If everyone wants to react, I can open up the lines. You guys can jump in and give you guys just opinions and reactions. But pretty simple, pretty smooth kind of day. Alright. In about like maybe 30 more seconds, we'll pop this stream up and then we'll get going. And yes, this is Mortal Kombat music that's playing, so. All right. I think we're at a sweet spot right there. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Ron over here at FightHype. Gearing up, getting ready for Liam Paro versus Richardson Hitchins. My brain is so torn right now. I still don't know who I want to pick. I still don't know. My brain is telling me Liam Paro, but my heart saying Richardson Hitchins. It's one of those type of fights, man. It really depends. Sound is good. Mic check, mic check. What up, Mark? What's up, Mark? Should be a really simple, easy reaction stream today, right? Just pure hardcore boxing, no nonsense, right? We got 2 rematches and a mandatory defense against a guy that we've been all watching for a very long time, Richardson Hitchins. I did see Jaleel Hackett with the upset loss. Some people felt it, they felt that the fight could have went either or, but Jaleel went on social media and said, hey, no excuses. No excuses. And then Mark Castro, man, that guy's been having rough performance after rough performance after rough performance. It was just a matter of time. It felt like with me that Mark Castro was going to lay an egg, like a true egg. And today was the day, right? A guy who had an amazing amateur pedigree. I'm going to pull it up right now. Let me pull it up right now. I'm going to pull up Mark Castro's box rec to see who he fought in the amateurs, because his transition hasn't been that great. Box amateurs. He has 50. Yeah, so we're going to do some screen sharing. Johnny Ringo, did Castro lose? Yes. What's up? Appreciate you jumping in. I'm just getting the stream going up. Where's my streams are actually messing up my DAZN, my top rank. So I might have to bootleg it today. But anyways, yes, to answer your question, Castro did lose, right? Castro suffered his first loss. You can see right there on the box rec. 93-97, 93-97, and 96-94. So split decision, but the judges saw it and Quintana's other way. So what's kind of unfortunate is this kid, from my understanding, had an amazing amateur background, right? We really looked down the people he was facing. I mean, he beat Keyshawn Davis, right? Believe multiple times. You know, other names that a lot of people might be familiar with. I think he had, Keyshawn Davis again. Keyshawn Davis again. My God, 3 times. Like, this is like Andy Cruz amount of times beating. And, you know, Manny Chance. He beat Manny Chance. This is a kid that you guys are going to hear about. He beat Raymond Ford, Duke Reagan, Raymond Ford. Like, Jonathan. Oh, he lost to John. Yo, this dude, Jonathan Mansour, has been fighting a lot of guys. But you can see he was supposed to be this huge guy that comes out of the amateurs and start wrecking shit. And, you know, he had his first loss. Mark says go Paro. Johnny says Paro. Illegal says Paro. Damn, everybody says Paro. All right. Like I said, my brain says Paro, right? And just for everyone to know, the main event for that card is going to come up, and then we'll be getting into I believe the time will work out perfect. We'll do the co-main for the top rank and then the main event. So no weird undercard fillers as long as everything moves. But this is my whole take on Paro versus Richardson Hitchens. I think Paro by far has the better wins, the better performances, the consistency at the top guys. He just beat Matias, right? When everyone thought he was the boogeyman and allegedly could have been the best guy in the division. I didn't feel that way, and I wasn't surprised by Paro upsetting, so I did pick Paro to win. But Richardson Hitchens is a different case, because I think Richardson Hitchens might have had an off night. Not making excuses, but I think he had an off night against Gustavo Lemos. And I think that... Nah, Jack, this is just a live watch commentary. Yep, that's just pretty much what it is. So if you want to stick around... You get a stream, we're going to react. I'm going to open up the lines for people to come and chat and call. But Constance, Africa's getting colonized tonight. Just kidding. Damn, bro, chill. What's up, Ron? Happy Saturday. Yeah. I don't know. Like, is it strange that I'm, like, every second that goes by, I'm leaning more and more to the dark horse? Like, is that a strange pick to go Richardson Hitchens? Like, I'm still picking Paro right now. They haven't even gotten in the ring. I'm still rolling with Paro, but I would not be surprised if Richardson Hitchens boxed his head off and make it an extremely boring fight. Like, I would not be surprised. I think the safe bet has to go with Paro, all right? Paro has crafty, sneaky, maneuvering kind of tactics, good power, right? He has great power, good combinations. He will put on a great performance, you know, if you have a lackluster night. But, you know, Richardson Hitchens has a great jab, similar like Devin Haney. Like, if you guys can imagine, this could be a Devin Haney-Camboso situation, right? The Australian guy who's the champion, you know, the slick American comes over, right? I can see that happening as well. It's just, where do I see it actually? Like, whose night is it going to be? It's tough. Do I switch to Richardson Hitchens, man? Do I make that last minute switch over? Johnny Ringo says, yeah, man, it could be close. You know, I'm Australian, though. I got to go Paro. No. And here's the thing, Johnny. Like, I know for a fact that Paro can create huge problems with Richardson Hitchens. Like, not as, like, you know, domestic. It's like your case, regardless as an Australian, he is a good fighter in the division. And he sparred Devin Haney. He sparred Shakur Stevenson, like, in Vegas. Like, I've talked to him. Like, he has seen this style before. And he's worked with those type of guys already who've already achieved championship level status and fought consistent competition at a higher level, where Richardson Hitchens hasn't. Now, Richardson Hitchens has sparred like Keyshawn and Shakur back then and Gervonta. So he is also a guy who's been in the ring with good guys. But at the end of the day, Paro's coming in there with the confidence of beating the boogeyman. Now, two different styles, and I'm not going to say just because he beat Matias, he's going to be able to beat Richardson Hitchens. On Paro's resume, has he fought anyone similar like him that kind of can create problems of a boxing? I think Montana Love tried, but I never thought highly of him. I can see where you have Richard because he does have boxing fundamentals, but realistically, I told you a couple of days ago he would do better than Montana Love, but Paro will beat him. Yeah, perfect timing because I do feel that Richardson Hitchins by far is way better than Montana Love. Right, so the knockout by far. Paro has Paro. Everyone has Paro. You know, I think Paro is the safe pick. But I don't know. I don't know. Like they're not in the ring yet. I'm on a little delay because my DAZN is acting funky, so my timing and reaction might be a little bit off. But I'm still safe right now to switch a pick. You know. I was at the Gustavo Lemos fight where when Richardson Hitchens fought, and that was a close fight. That was you could have had that either or. A smaller guy coming at him, putting a lot of pressure. Paro is going to be able to create pressure, more calculated, and not be as sloppy as Gustavo Lemos. So if you really compare his performance from Gustavo Lemos with Paro, I mean, you're going to have to say Paro wins the fight. But I really think that Paro, yep, I got Hitchens walking out right now. Yep, I got the same. The thing is, with the Paro fight, I think Richardson Hitchens may have figured out his weight cut situation, right? He had concerns about, doing the fight for the IBF because when you fight for the IBF, there's a 10-pound rehydration clause. He was a little weary. He might have did it wrong, right? Not giving him excuses because at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. You look like how you look like. But me just trying to rationalize this fight, coming into this fight, he's had to have a better weight cut. He's had to at least figure out what went wrong, right? So I think he seemed very immobile in the Gustavo Lemos fight. Knowing what I know, and I've known him for years and seen him spar and things like that, I've seen him do a lot better than what I saw that night. So to me, it's kind of strange. But Paro should be the betting favorite. Have a bet on Paro to record a knockdown and Hitchens decisions. That's fair. Paro is an underrated boxer, and he is. And this once again, this is me giving both guys credit. There's no discrediting either. I think Paro is also a very technical fighter, great combination puncher, has power, obviously. And I think that with the right timing, he can actually drop Richardson Hitchens, in my opinion, But if Richardson Hitchens is very disciplined, very cautious, and uses his jab, like, I'm trying to think, what is the reach difference? I need to find out the reach. But if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Richardson Hitchens probably has the longer reach, So he can potentially make this a very boring fight. For me, mainly, Paro has the sneaky power and is very good in setting up traps, which are traps that Richardson Hitchens has never seen or dealt before. And after Richardson's last fight, he's going to have it tough. I agree. I think Paro has great setup traps. He's very comfortable up close and mid-range, right? So even if Richardson is putting the jab and keeping his distance, I think Paro is good enough to get somewhere along the lines of a mid-range. And when he's in the mid-range, that's where it kind of gets dangerous because he can extend his punching power very well. He can throw a combination setup where it's essentially a trap where, Richardson's going to defensively try to slip, a punch or two, and Paro can sneak a third shot. Very crafty, very crafty. I don't think he gets a lot of praise, and the Matias upset win never surprised me at all. I definitely thought that was a bad homecoming fight, and it was an upset brewing big time. So everything that he's done up to this point is what I've thought he could. Now, Richardson Hitchens is definitely going to be, in my opinion, actually his toughest fight outside of Matias because, Matias will pose that relentless pressure and that style. But if this dude, Richardson Hitchens, gets in the rhythm, Tripper, when does it start? They're getting in the ring right now. Paro and Richardson Hitchens got in the ring. Oh boy, man. Do I go with the upset? I feel like I want to go with the upset. Can I go with the upset? Can I go against you guys? Like, am I able to explain myself well enough to describe Paro winning the fight and get you guys to respect, but go against the grain and go with the underdog? History repeating itself. The underdog beats the champion Puerto Rico right after he just did that. Can I go against the grain a little bit, please? Can I go against the grain? Darius says, Lord, this ninja. What's up, Too Honest? It's been a minute, man. Great fire. Let's go, Paro. Yeah, I heard quite a lot of folks saying Richardson should move up to welterweight. He used to drain at 140, but then again, the IBF rehydration clause takes a toll on fighters who's trying not. Richardson Hitchins definitely told me he was concerned about the IBF rehydration clause. Like, I have an interview right after he sparred Cormel Moen, and he told me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of this IBF rehydration clause. It does concern me. Richardson Hitchins is very transparent. He's a very honest person. When you really get into a setting where he's comfortable of talking about his boxing career, he's admitted it multiple times. So if he has a really good weight cut and figure out this rehydration clause situation that the IBF does, I think he can pull it off. I really think he can. No comment, bro. Oh, nerd, SMFH. Why are you hating, old Darius, man? What we doing out here? Tim Zoo going to have a meet and greet on January 18th near me, going there to support him, see how he's doing. Yeah, I saw that. And, you know, I think he should get praised by his home country because he did take back-to-back tough fights. You know, I legitly told him, like, yo, you taking another tough one. You know what I mean? But he said that, you know, if you're a Ferrari, would you want to race against Toyota Corollas? And, you know, and I'm like, all right, man. Fair enough. What's good, man? What's up, Mr. Grandy? What's going on, man? We getting ready to react to this Richardson Hitchens and Paro fight and then go straight into Robies and Espinosa. And then right after that, we're going straight into Oscar Valdez and Navarrete too. So fight after fight after fight, they're all championship fights. So it should be a good night. I did see the upset with Castro and Jalil Hackett. It happens in boxing, right? Daniel says, time for Big Mouth to back up his words now. I mean, yeah, he did. He did do a lot of trash talking. He did build up a lot. And I think I'm going on the underdog, guys. Everyone in here says Paro. My brain is telling me Paro. But I want to say I'm going with Richardson Hitchens. It's truly a good 50-50 fight. All right, I don't think everyone that's picking Paro is not crazy. I think that's who you should pick. But off of a feeling I'm getting, I don't know. Let me be wrong. Let me be wrong in front of the world. But if Paro pulls the win off, he should. He's a crafty combination puncher with a lot of power. And he's probably one of the best Australian fighters I've seen in a very long time, you know. So, and that's not just closing out to the country, but, you know, that's just saying how much I actually don't look at him as a stereotypical fighter from Australia that gets a win or two. I think he is a good fighter, you know. I can see Paro closing the distance with Richard and ear-muffing him with his lead right uppercut and slipping a jab and landing something hard if Richardson back on the ropes. I agree. You cannot let Richardson get into a rhythm and a jab. And, you know, I mean, Paro's size is pretty close to Richardson Hitchens, you know. So he's not that much shorter than him. So height and reach might not be as bad. Paro wins late stoppage. Hope it's a good matchup. Hitchens is the next Mayweather GS sense. Good live stream. I said, appreciate Attorney Bailey. Here we go, man. Oh yeah, Ron. I saw both prospects. I saw the Castro one brewing up, and I knew everyone told me the Hackett fight was tough. So, fight's ready. I got Hitchens by decisions. All right. I'm going with Hitchens. Unanimous decision. All right. I'm going against the grain, y'all. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'm not just saying that to sit on the fence, but I think Hitchens probably got a better weight cut. I respect you for stepping up in the ring, though. Puerto Rican be cursing A-sided fighters. Hitchens trying to hype himself up. All right. First round. All right. Like I predicted, Paro's putting a lot of pressure on Richardson. Hitchens is on the ropes. This is good for Paro. You do not want to give Hitchens the range that he needs to kind of slip and move comfortably and extend his jab out, right? You want to put that mid-range pressure and look for opportunities, right? Now, the ref actually brings it back to the middle ring after Richardson Hitchens holds, right? So Paro is doing a lot of level changes, up and down, up and down. Good jab attempt from Paro. Paro is putting a lot of unique different types of jabs. Very sneaky. A little bit of up, a little bit down, a little weird, bouncing up and down. It's an awkward rhythm, and Richardson Hitchens has to be aware of that left hand, because right now it looks like Paro's trying to set him up with a very clean shot down the pipe, and Richardson Hitchens is definitely in the middle of the ring. You guys are setting really good jabs. Good body attempt right there. I think Paro might have landed a jab to the body. The fights are starting now, Caddy. Yeah, Paro's looking good early. I like his activity. If Richardson Hitchens can settle him down, it can be a very, very difficult fight. But right now, Paro looks very active, and that the judges might look into that activity in his favor, because Richardson Hitchens hasn't really done too much. They clinch up. Ref separates him again. No, it's not pay-per-view, Thomas. It's on DAZN. So as of right now, not a lot of crazy amount of movement from Hitchens. Hitchens is just straight up in the middle of the ring. He has his high guard up. Paro's still pumping jabs and level changing up and down, up and down. I'm trying to think personally who his style right now reminds me of. It's a very Paro definitely tried to go to a 1-2 on Richardson Hitchens. Hitchens definitely dodged it, but a little hesitant from trying to get that jab off. Hitchens definitely sees a guy who's putting a lot of pressure, a lot of different looks, a lot of level changes, a good jab from Paro. As of right now, I think Paro's definitely winning the round. Hitchens hasn't shown a lot of activity, and he hasn't really built a sense of confidence in this round to let me feel that he deserves this. So he's using the Soviet boxing pendulum. Yo, Khan, how do you know about that? That's kind of like a very, very, very specific style. That's crazy. I didn't really think a lot of people knew about the Soviet boxing pendulum. That is definitely a great. I'm familiar with the style, but I can't. There's so many styles. Why can I not think of this? The Valdez and Navarrete fight starts probably like maybe an hour and a half from now. Yeah, Paro is fast. Yeah, 1-0. That's for sure Paro. Paro won the first round without a question. Paro was very busy, very active. As Khan said, the Soviet boxing pendulum, 100%. A lot of bouncing on his toes, a lot of level changes. And to be honest, even though he's Australian, that Eastern European style has been given a lot of slick American fighters problem. You've seen him with Boots Ennis. You've seen Mazurov make Crawford look really good. It's a very awkward style, and if you're not really familiar with that type of rhythm, you're going to be very cautious, especially if you're a counterpuncher. You're going to be waiting for opportunities, and if you don't really know what the hell is going on, like Darius says, so goofy, it kind of does disrupt you a little bit. So he definitely has that Eastern European movement style you can see going on. Great observation. I had a feeling Paul probably got inspired by Jai Apataya. He's using that style recently too. But Jai's recently only shown me like 3 punches, and when he did his Breeders fight. But Apataya has definitely showed a lot of great pound for pound accolades. Maybe I'm doing a little too hard on him on that Breeders fight. Opataya is the best mover in boxing, and he's another Australian. I think his athleticism is beyond better than his skill. I think his skill needs, to work just a little bit. I'm just being a hard critic because, we're talking about pound for pound. But we're in the second round anyways. So I should be calling it. Paro is reaching a little bit on the jab now. I think Richardson Hitchens is starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the distance. Paro is still trying to do a jab to the body. His movement activities not as frantic as the first round, but he's still going up and down level changes. Paro lands a good jab on Richardson Hitchens. But I did catch him reaching, I think maybe even twice so far. Oh, good right hand from Richardson Hitchens. Solid right hand. And then Paro misses 2 follow-up shots right after. And this is where I was going to say, like, the distance and control is going to be probably more in favor in Hitchens if he's not back on the ropes. You know, there's a little bit more confidence I'm starting to see in Hitchens. He took an opportunity, landed that solid right. Hitchens is throwing a little bit more jabs. Paro needs to rough him up a little bit. I know Paro has that ability to have a great inside technical boxing fight, but ooh, good solid jab that goes and actually counters Richardson Hitchins missing the lead left hook. That was a great jab. So far, both these guys have had 2 good shots that I enjoyed. A solid right straight down from Hitchens and a really solid jab. Another 2 jabs from Paro lands on Hitchens. A double up jab. And a good jab again from Paro. Kind of disrupts Hitchens' rhythm a little bit. Right when Hitchens started to get some confidence, Paro immediately gets it right back with a lot of great jabs. That was... You can watch the fight on DAZN right now. Eastern European style. Roberto Duran used that style. Roberto Duran has used... I think Duran's style is different than the Soviet pendulum stuff. I would say like Duran falls more in the box of like Pacquiao's in my opinion versus like the Madrimovs of the world. You know what I mean? Like if there's like circles to kind of, they all have an awkward style, but Duran is definitely more like Pacquiao. Well, I would say Pacquiao came after Duran. Pacquiao is more like Duran-ish, if that kind of makes sense. Thoughts on Tim Tszyu's future? I think he needs to have a couple tune-ups. Take a year of just tune-ups to get right back, Daniel, to be honest. I think he's a tremendous fighter who just kind of might have just rushed into another big, tough fight too soon after a cut. And he's been taking a lot of tough fights consistently. Paro's more like a boxer-puncher. He needs to use some of the tactics that Lemos did to make Richard feel uncomfortable. I agree. Be a little bit more rougher. I wouldn't be against Paro 2-0. I thought that Hitchens had a really solid right hand, but I like the activity with the jabs that Paro has been doing to kind of get that one punch back, if that makes sense, right? Roberto is more of a boxer-puncher, mainly an excellent inside fighter. Yeah, the style's a little bit different. Like, there's awkward in his movement, you know, but not the yeah, this even, like you can even see like Paro in the 3rd round, he's light on his toes and he goes up and down like this. Like Paro, this is how Paro is. That's far from Duran, but that's definitely like an Eastern European style. Paro's putting a little bit more pressure in the 3rd round and putting a little bit more attempts. Hitchens seems a little gun shy and Paro's beating him to the punch. Nice solid lead jab. Lands right on top of Richardson Hitchens. Paro is definitely in control of this 3rd round. Yeah, I know you guys saw me doing that weird ass movement, but that's what Paro is doing. Paro is definitely controlling the fight with this awkward style, and Hitchens can't really get a rhythm to even take a chance. You know, Hitchens landed a nice little jab right there, but when you're like this calculated, safe, particular counter shot fighter and you can't really catch the rhythm, and you know that Paro has power and he has great counter punching abilities, you're very cautious. That's what you're seeing from Hitchens right now. Very tentative, very cautious, and haven't still found Paro's rhythm. Paro's giving him a lot of different level changes, and if they get a little rough in the corner, Paro jumps right in, Hitchens clinches right away, and the ref breaks him up. Hitchens still has not found his rhythm yet. Very tentative still. Very reactive to all these feints. He hasn't really comfortably found a way to land solid shots in. You know, as of right now, I wouldn't be surprised it's 3-0 Paro. If you're feeling generous, maybe you give Hitchens the 2nd round, but I have it 3-0 as in right now. Paro goes to the body with a lead jab. Paro needs to be careful in lunging. Paro lunged while sweeping his back left without setting up a jab, and Hitchens saw it. Didn't throw a counter, but, you know, they clinched up, turned, and then now they're back in the center of the ring. That's the only thing that Paro has to be is patient. I know it can be very frustrating We got a guy who doesn't really want to engage too much, but he's still there, right in the middle, being ready to try to counterpunch. So, have you seen much of Tim's? Oh, Paro lands a solid shot, sends Hitchens back. Probably the best punch of the fight. Hitchens is very weary right now, and he's on his back foot. Paro's putting calculated pressure, putting a little bit more pressure on Hitchens. Hitchens on his back foot. And it looks like it's going to be the end of the round. Best punch in the round, man. I mean, best punch of the fight goes to Paro. I have a 4-0, like, to be honest. Like, another tough one to score. Paro 2-0. I don't know. 3-1 at best. I mean, at worst, possibly 4-0, to be honest. Paro keeps moving and breaking rhythm. Absolutely. I also noticed the arena's making fighters moist. Like a mother lover by second round, very hot. I mean, you're fighting Puerto Rico, right? Paro stepped on Hitchens' foot. Okay, that's what that was? All right. Paro rocked him with a power jab. Are they going to show a replay? I'm going to be a little behind you guys. They would have never let this fight take place in the States. No rules or regulations. And whoop the whoop. What do you mean by whoop the whoop? Oh, whoop the whoop. I'm tripping, bro. I'm sorry, man. I've never even seen whoop the whoop spelt out. I've only heard it. To be honest, Hitchens' foot was on Paro. It looked like Hitchens' foot was on Paro. No, that was a good punch. That was a good punch from Paro. Paro used the gazelle jab that Marvin Hagler would use. Yeah. To be honest, I actually don't know the gazelle jab. I'll actually have to Google that. You know a lot more technical terms. But I can definitely say I got Groundy has 3-0 Paro. Oh shit, I'm tripping. This is the fourth round. 3-0. Did I just skip a round in my brain? I'm sorry, y'all. I definitely said 4-0. 3-0. Well, that's good for Hitchens because he's going to need all the rounds possible because I have it 3-0 for Paro as well. So we're in the fourth round. Still a lot of awkward rhythm changes. Hitchens is going to have to pick up some of his activity because, you know, Lee left hook, attempt check hook. Oh, and Paro lands a good shot on the side of the head. Either or, Hitchens looks visibly uncomfortable after getting hit. Very worried. We definitely can say that Paro, by far, is the stronger, more powerful puncher in the ring. We don't have to debate that. But even the shot selections that Paro's picking is better than Hitchens. You would assume that Hitchens, the slick defensive fighter, will use his range and pick a shot, but Paro is faster, picking good timing, and even the better counter puncher, and even the more reactive fighter. When you see Hitchens even tries to throw a shot, Paro kind of negates it and ready to counter right on top of it. So, very impressed with Paro. Like I said earlier, my brain went with Paro. Paro should be the favorite, right? Went with an underdog pick so far is not favoring in my position because I had a feeling that Hitchens would kind of perform a little bit better. But as in right now, the bookies had it 100% right so far. Paro is definitely in control of the fight. Had a couple great shots. Good job from Hitchens right there. Paro still looks very... Oh, good solid back. Yo, you got to be careful, like I said. Paro can't be too excited and just lunge into shots because he ate a back right hand from Hitchens. He ate two good shots, actually, from Hitchens. So he needs to get back on the jab, and what's going to work is to not be eager. I know that you had great success. Might have took you about 3 rounds or so to get a good shot, to get Hitchens visibly uncomfortable, maybe a great shot to maybe rock him, but you can't just follow up aimlessly, and a good jab from Hitchens lands on Paro. So Hitchens is fighting back. And in this case, even though Paro is winning the fight, he still can't make those little small elementary mistakes that he's been avoiding through the first 3 rounds. You see it. The second he falls asleep a little bit, he gets hit with a solid shot from Hitchens. So it's just basically a leaping jab like a leaping hook. Oh, yeah, Hagler did a lot of leaping hooks. Motherfucker was strong too. I'm telling you, Ron, Paro is getting success with those check hooks. For sure. I mean, he definitely has kind of like the better jab of the two also. Like he has the power jab, and Hitchens is reluctant to throw his jab to even try to set up a shot, because even when he tries to set up a shot, he's afraid to get countered. So Paro's just throwing power jabs and he's landing pretty clean. So Paro will win if you don't get KO'd. I mean, at the rate that it's going right now, I don't know if it's gonna go into a position where Hitchens is gonna have to throw more opportunities and not look for a single shot. The single shots look good, but it really is more he capitalizes when Paro makes a mistake. So if you're waiting for mistakes more than creating those type of traps and opportunities, you know, those shots that you land on him might be good, fresh reminders to get back on your shit, Paro. And that's what it kind of looks like. Paro get hit with a good shot, and it's like, wake up. Don't be falling asleep. Get back. Do what you did to be successful. And if you only have a couple of those moments, and you're not really known as a knockout artist, you know, then this might be a tough fight for you to try to win, especially by knockout. So you got to set up traps because Paro is definitely going to be keeping this rhythm all night. You're going to have to find patterns and tendencies and take some chances and throw more than one shot. The man lives in his money. From Hitchens. 3-1 Paro. If you want, yeah, I mean, you could do 3-1 Paro. I wouldn't be mad at that, honestly. I would probably give Hitchens maybe more of the second round, not the fourth round. But Hitchens is picking up a little bit more in this round. You know, we're in the fifth round. Hitchens starting to land his hands to go a little bit. Oh, a solid 1-2 from Hitchens. Paro smiled a little bit. Paro needs to be careful, man. Because even though he's had a lot of success, there's a certain point where Hitchens is going to have to let his hands go. And he still doesn't know what Hitchens looks like if he does that. You know, it's probably not ideal for Hitchens to want to do it. But if he has no choice, he might start throwing some crazy combinations that might actually catch you. So do what has gotten you here, but also be careful if Hitchens makes an adjustment. Paro lands a good jab, a visibly strong jab that kind of wobbles Hitchens again a little bit. Another solid jab. He's definitely beating Hitchens to the jab, without a doubt. And he's definitely having some sort of power success behind it too. Because every time he hits Hitchens, it kind of like rocks him a little bit. If Matias couldn't, Paro, I doubt Hitchens will. I mean, the only way, in my opinion, is Hitchens actually gets into a really solid rhythm and makes it a very strong, boring boxing match, which he's not able to do. Paro is definitely the better counter puncher. He's better inside mid-range. Solid jab from Paro. And he's the stronger fighter. He's the active fighter. I mean, there's literally nothing that Hitchens is doing better than Paro in this fight. Like, there's nothing. You know, maybe better at just being patient. But Paro's setting up traps. He's making attempts. He's doing level changes. He's keeping Hitchens on his toes. Hell no, Belonga in the crowd. I'm traumatized. Hitchens can't get greedy with offense. Oh, solid punch from Paro. Correct, he can't get too greedy, but he definitely needs to take some sort of chance so he can get some respect. Paro doesn't respect him. That's why he kind of lunged in a couple of times. Fourth round was close, could have gone either way, but Paro might have edged him in the ring generalship. I think I gave Paro the fourth. If anything, if I gave Hitchens a round, it would be the second. So Paro looks pretty slick, and Hitchens is the home guy since USA and Haiti. Not far from. Oh, a solid 1-2 from Paro. Yo, Paro is landing some solid 1-2s. Paro's nose is bleeding. This is without a doubt. Tay-Day 3-2 Paro. I mean, there's a chance if you get, 2-4? But I'm telling you right now, there's a switch that Hitchens can turn on. He hasn't turned it on, and Paro has to be aware of it. Essentially, the adjustment, right? If this don't work, doesn't mean that if Hitchens makes more of a desperation, right, fight a little bit more, then, how would I say it? Doesn't mean that Hitchens won't get success. He just hasn't really taken the chance to really go all in. I think Hitchens actually has an opportunity to throw in combinations and actually catch Paro with a lot of good shots. He just really hasn't seen it. You haven't really seen it. You know, Paro's definitely in control, but it's slowly becoming a little bit more competitive the longer the fight goes. You know, you're starting to see Hitchens starting to take a little bit more chances. Remember, it's a 12-round fight. So the only concern I have with Paro is becoming how hot it is. I hope it doesn't doesn't get exhausted with that bouncing movements he's doing, and thought it's giving him success. Is ESPN on hold? Yeah, so the ESPN fight, let me see. I'm doing the DAZN main event, and then I'm going to go to the ESPN card right after it. So they might be on hold. Yeah, they're coming up. Yeah, they're on hold. So you're 100% right. So I just had to return that stream on over there. We're in the 6th round. Paro still presenting a lot of awkward level changes and movements. They're in the middle of the ring. Solid jab. Paro is just beating Hitchens to the jab. So, oh, and a solid back left hand lands on Hitchens from Paro. A good jab from Hitchens landed right there. Hitchens needs to double up on the jab. At this point, you know, you trying to go a 1-2 might be dangerous. You might come across and get caught. And you can see right there, he tried to do a 1-2. Paro's kind of ready for it, you know. Double up on the jab, Hitchens. I think Hitchens could double up on the jab and pose some disruption in his rhythm. I think he'll have a lot more success. These single jabs, Paro is ready to counter right over his jab. He's either trying to beat him to the jab or counter over his jab. And afterwards, Hitchens always follows up with a hook that barely misses. So it's almost like miss jab, counter jab, miss left hook. Or Paro jabs, Hitchens misses with a lead left hook. And it just doesn't really present a threat to Paro. You know, Paro is being defensively responsible. He's not just solid 1-2 jab again from Paro. Paro is just definitely good back right hand from Hitchens, but Paro is definitely solid in this fight. Like, he's definitely the one that's controlling the pace, definitely has the respect. I mean, to be honest, guys, like, if I give Hitchens a round or two, I mean, it's still going to be like a hard hill to climb at this rate, because you need to start actually dominating some of these rounds, because Paro is running away with this fight. Hitchens has to find a way to time Paro's work or he's going to lose. It's not even just time, right? Because I think that's what he's trying to do, Rank. I don't think he can time his style. I think that's what's creating this waiting that he's doing. And obviously Paro has power, so he doesn't want to be stupid about it. But he's trying to time him with these single shots or like a clean flush jab. But ultimately at this point, he definitely needs to put some more offense, a double up jab, show some level changes, do something besides just standing mid-range and hoping to do a jab, counter, right, left hook. Like, it's almost 3 punches that he has in his arsenal. He hasn't really done. There's a double jab attempt right there, 3 jabs, and he finally caught Paro, like, off the 3rd jab. Pump the jabs out, throw them out a little bit. Don't rely on your athleticism, right, or slick defensive counter punching, because Paro at this rate is going to outwork you. So 5-1 easy, 4-2 Paro. Won't be mad 5-1, right? Is Paro can knock out? Yeah, I think Paro can knock out Hitchens at this rate. He hasn't really done anything to like truly get Hitchens in a state of concern, but I mean, at this rate, I mean, you guys see the fight that I see. Paro is completely the one controlling the pace. He's active, he's aggressive, he has the powerful shots, he's landing more consistently, and he has the better ring generalship. He's the better counter puncher. He's the better guy. He can time the punches better than Hitchens throughout. Hitchens definitely gets a moment in almost every round, maybe a solid 1-2 in between, but it looks like they clashed heads, southpaw, orthodox. But Hitchens is losing, Martel. I got Hitchens losing. He's just not really creating opportunities for himself. He's waiting a lot, and Paro is just the busier fighter. And it's not like he's roughing, like trying to maul him. He's actually outboxing him in the mid-range. Paro is definitely timing him faster with the jab. He's the better counter puncher. Like, everything Paro's doing is just showing me that he's the better boxer. Not physically the stronger man he's winning the fight, or the one that's making Hitchens not fight a certain fight. Hitchens is fighting the fight that he wants, Hitchens fried, just not active enough. Yeah, he's just waiting too much. And it's not, like I said, it's not like Hitchens is not fighting the fight that he wants. He got the fight he wants, guys. He's boxing. The problem is he's losing the boxing match. What we're seeing is Paro is clearly the better boxer. No strongman, bring the fight, No, Paro is in the middle, and they are setting up traps. They are setting up timings. A pull counter Paro landed on Hitchens. Like, come on, dude. Paro is landing the pull counters on Hitchens. The pull counters. I thought Hitchens would be doing the pull counters. Hitchens is getting pull countered. Hitchens is intimidating, feeling power. And yes, I'm not saying the power isn't effective. You're 100% right. There is a concern for it. But at a certain point, you know, he's fought. The zone scores have a 3-3. Yeah, they tripping. Eric Bell, what's up? FightHype, Hackett got the start to the draw. Yeah, he lost. I mean, I didn't really score it, but I heard it was going to be a tough fight, and he didn't perform, you know. So, Paro needs to go to the body. Yeah, I mean, he did a little bit of that level changing right now. What just happened right now? Some tape. All right, they're doing some tape. This round, Hitchens started giving up ground and backing up more. He's done for it. Yeah, too honest. Yo, my mind, like I told you, my mind and the person I said is the favorite is Paro. I went with a feeling. You know, every once in a while, you're like, I got a feeling. And that's why you can't go with feelings in boxing, bro. Like, you just got to just go with your brain, man. You got to go with your brain. And it could be coverage bias, right? Because I've covered Hitchens for a very long time, right? So I've seen what he's able to do in the gyms, stuff like that. But I also know Paro. I covered him a little bit. I've interviewed him. I know sparred Devin, like I said earlier, and Shakur. And it's no disrespect to Hitchens, but Devin and Shakur has fought at a higher level with defensive timing, counter punching kind of style. Ooh, a solid jab. Paro kind of like wobbled Hitchens a little bit. His front leg kind of did a little wobbly. Solid, strong, stern poker face. But man, dude, Paro right now is just the better boxer. Sporting News has it 3-3. I don't see it 3-3. Am I tripping? I don't see it 3-3. Betting sites odds have Paro only slight favorite in live odds. Maybe I'm tripping. Do you guys... Oh, a solid right hand! Richardson Hitchins lands a solid right hand on Paro. Paro's trying to get it back. They exchange jabs, 1-for-1, back and forth. Man, Hitchens' right hand is definitely the weapon of choice. If he can really time up these jabs, like, you know, set up triple 4, 5, 6 jabs, man, constantly. Because what happened is, maybe it's not done intentionally, but Paro is already conditioned. He's conditioned at thinking you have already had a mindset of, I'm going to throw a jab and that's it. So guess what Paro thinks? I'm going to counter over the jab, right? I'm going to counter over the jab, or I'm going to have to watch out for jab right, right? Just boom, boom, right? A 1-2. He's anticipating that. But if you kind of throw a couple more jabs and change that rhythm a little bit, Paro's not going to expect it. Even though he's in full control, you got to switch it up. By switching that up, you can see he was able to catch Paro. You know, you got to throw 2, 3, 4, 5 solid jabs. Little bit, you got to get him to think a little bit. I know he's cautious. He's not trying to get countered over the jab because Paro has been great at countering over Hitchens' jab. So he's gun shy to throw that 1-2 because while he throws the second, he gets countered right on top of it. So, but you have to switch it up a little bit because you already have him conditioned in a certain style, right? I already knew Hitchens was a hype job since his last fight and his first test. I mean, you know, right now, Paro's still winning, but there's still this moment that you can feel that if Paro falls asleep, something can happen. More interested in Navarrete and Valdez? Yeah. I mean, right after this, we're going to go right into Espinosa and Robies, and then we're going to go right into the main event. So, I think this is a good appetizer for those because you already know that those are going to be wars, right? And it's also, you know, Valdez and Navarrete are two solid, proven guys. Hitchens lands a solid right again. He might have got a rhythm a little bit. You know, Paro comes up and tries to get it back. They clinch. Ref breaks it. Hitchens has a decent right hand. Yeah, he has a great right hand. He just has to figure out how to properly place it without just relying just one single jab. 4-3 Paro, maybe 4-2. I mean, Hitchens definitely won a round, maybe 2. I mean, at the rate, I might have it 4-2. I might have it 4-2. I mean, but what we're round 8, so it has to be like 4-5-2. I mean, damn, they got Hitchens up? Am I tripping? I mean, the momentum feels like Hitchens is picking it up a little bit. But I don't know. I felt like Paro might have won like the first 4. Solid right hand from Hitchens. I don't know, man. I don't have the commentary on, so Paro has to be careful lunging, and he might run into some. That's what I saw in the second round. He lunged and he reached in a little bit. So, but Hitchens was never able to really get that timing in. So, Chris is being dumb. Chris Max Manus Bias has a 4-3. Okay, all right. So I just want to make sure, like, I don't want to be tripping too, because if anything, if anyone I'm biased for, I might be biased for Hitchens because I've covered him for a very long time. Paro just a little bit, so I can be aware of my biasness, right? But I think Paro is winning the fight. I think there is probably close contested rounds. Like, it's kind of seeming that Hitchens is starting to get a little bit better, but those first 4 rounds just felt like very Paro, maybe even 5. But Paro is starting to lunge in a lot more. He's starting to reach in a lot more. I'm starting to see that, and you can see Paro is starting to have, I think, a little marking underneath his left eye from obviously the right hand. So it is creating damage. So, and we're only in the 8th round. There's still a lot more. So there's a possibility that Hitchens can make an upset. Manix gives rounds to Hitchens for 1-2 good punches. Yeah, I think he might be doing a little bit too much. But this is a very close round right here. I see Hitchens attempting a lot more. I see Paro not having success like he did with the jab. His movement is still a little bit there, but it stops a little bit. Hitchens able to time him a little bit better. But a solid back shot, back left hand straight lands on Hitchens. Right when I say that, Paro lands a good left. That's a close round right there. I'm not gonna lie, that was a very close round. I could see that either or. There was a lot of good punches on both sides. T Fox says, "White boys bruise easy. Paro good. I ain't tripping." Of course. I mean, the thing is, what I'm saying is that the markings are there, meaning that there is some damage, right? I know what you're saying, but Hitchens has landed some good right hands, and even that round, there was some good success that Hitchens had. Paro landed probably the best shot of the round with the solid left, but Hitchens just needs to pick up the activity. Yeah, you give that round to Hitchens. Hitchens feel the momentum is starting to feel like Hitchens is starting to come in late. Not like he's coming like in his own, but he's starting to come in a little bit later and starting to feel like he's a very, very, very slow start. Like the slowest start possible. While Paro seems like he's starting to, I wouldn't say fatigue, but not have the same type of consistency. Is a little sloppy in some of these moments in that round. Yes, the fight has started. Boxing needs a real criteria for scorecards. Obviously, people are looking at different things. Of course, to be honest. Paro's still up, though. I'll be honest, I've kind of actually dumped my scorecard now at this point. So, I feel like Paro is up. You guys don't have to keep me honest at this point. I'm trusting the chat that you guys know what's up. You guys have a legit scorecard. I probably should have put a scorecard in here. Right now Hitchens is landing some solid good jabs on Paro, and it seems like Paro hasn't been able to really get a good, solid offensive attempt. Hitchens' movement looks a little bit better. He's doubling up on the jab. Hitchens did throw 2 jabs. They did exchange jabs, but Hitchens, as in right now, seems like he's going to start picking it up, in my opinion. He's starting to do a solid straight right. Paro got hit with a solid right. Guys, I'm feeling a momentum shift right now from Hitchens. We're in the 9th round right now, and it seems like Paro, with the amazing great start, the better performing boxer, right? Because this was not a brawl. He was outboxing Hitchens. But it seems like the momentum is starting to sway a little bit. Hitchens is starting to get a little bit into his bag, his very patient bag, but he's starting to pull out things. Not a lot of activity going on. Paro seems to be the one that's kind of waiting, not being as offensive, assertive as he was before. Still trying to time each other, but Hitchens throws to a double jab to a triple jab, just like I've said. And the third jab caught Paro. Hitchens is definitely good body shot from Paro. Paro's starting to go down. But Hitchens is starting to be a lot more active, and he's starting to read the slower version of Paro. Because the beginning of the fight, Paro was very active, fast, quick, explosive, athletic. But he seems a little bit more flat-footed here, a little bit more, and not saying that he's slow, but not having the same type of jump start. Good jab from Hitchens right there. Not the same ability to just close the gap by leaping in and timing Hitchens abruptly, just out of nowhere. Hitchens is starting to have the fight that he wants. This is starting to look like the Richardson Hitchens fight that I kind of felt might have been a potential option of how this fight could play out. But a good counterpunch from Paro landed on Hitchens, and he landed another good jab. So keeps Hitchens honest and not get too eager. You know, after he started having success, Paro started coming on and reminded him kind of the same issues that Paro did with Hitchens. So this definitely feels like probably the easiest round for Richardson Hitchens. That might have been the most dominant round for Hitchens and probably the most unquestionable round for him, that he clearly won that round. And if he fights and it gets more like that throughout, this can probably be a close fight and a potential upset, guys. I'm starting to feel that Hitchens can potentially win these last couple rounds if that was Paro looks like. You know, a great start of the fight. What round? We're going to be going into the 10th. Australian lives minus Paro, Hitchens 121. If he lands one more good shot, my guy Ron's going to break his keyboard from his enthusiasm. Balenciaga. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There could be some, how would I say it? Like, for me, I think it's like, when I see a fighter doing what I want them to do, it excites me. So, Paro is doing everything that he's supposed to do. Like, Paro is actually fighting a game plan, but he eats a jab right there. It's starting to close up, Jessica. The beginning of the fight was very Paro. But there's been kind of a couple close rounds, and the last round was for sure Hitchens. And it seems like the momentum is starting to go with Hitchens right now. 6'4" Paro. So you can see there's a couple guys in here that saying 6'4" Paro who are on opposite of the spectrum. They're keeping it honest. So I'm trust you guys, 6'4" Paro. It feels like Paro was up very, very much so. But Hitchens has a great opportunity to close the show and steal it, 5-4. I expected more overhands. From who? From Hitchens? If you're expecting it from Hitchens, I mean, obviously Paro has kept him very honest, you know. But at this point, these guys have to rely on these last couple rounds, you know. Paro is letting Hitchens come back into the fight very comfortably. You know, he's still bouncing around, jumping up and down, but he eats a solid jab. Paro does not have the same ability to get to Hitchens as eats another jab. Paro eats another jab. And then they tie up. Guys, I think Hitchens right now is starting to take over. Sporting News has 86, 85 Hitchens. I feel like Paro is up, but this might be the round that sets things apart and actually starts to bring Hitchens over the hump, you know? And the fact that if Sporting News and Chris Mannix and everyone has that type of influence on the public, you know, they're gonna. Who's winning right now? It's very close. Funny celebrity shorts. I feel like Paro might be a round ahead or so, but Hitchens is definitely more in control of the second round of the fight. Not a lot of crazy action. It's a boxing match. Hitchens is now starting to show his feet. He's starting to move. He's starting to box Paro a little bit on the outside, getting out of the corner. Paro is starting to now just kind of follow Hitchens. You know, you don't want to follow Hitchens. You want to use those same type of tactics you did to kind of get you set up to have a good, solid jab or a good counter. Come on, Paro, Tom O'Brien says. He's going to have to dig in a little bit. He's eating a lot of jabs this round. This is a Hitchens round. Neither is going for it. I have to go get it. Paro tempo is higher but not effective. That's a great way of putting it, Bailey. He's very active, but it's not effective these last two rounds. You know, he's just doing a lot of movement and bouncing, but Hitchens is definitely landing the cleaner, flusher, and more consistent shots. Paro's trying to feint his way in a lot, but he needs to start using those jabs that originally got him success. He's almost like he abandoned his jab and he's just leaping in. Hitchens is having a better control of distance in these last. Most of Hitchens' right hands are landing, though. They are landing. They're very clean. Let me see. I think I saw Shakur tweet. What's Shakur tweeting? Let's see. Sorry. From now on, all fighter gloves must be expected. You saw that? I don't know what happened to that. Like, I don't know what happened afterwards. Keep your... Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Facts. Yeah, so... I did see that. I don't know exactly what happened. I know that they were complaining about the ounces of the gloves, you know, because they weren't familiar with the fly gloves. So T Fox says if it's close, they'll probably give it a Hitchens. Maybe, you know. I really don't know how the politics would kind of side on who. They're definitely a neutral. I mean, maybe not neutral because Paro did get his title in Puerto Rico, but then again, maybe they want to see him lose in Puerto Rico. I don't know. But either or, this fight is pretty close. And I think Hitchens has the momentum. And I think at this point, if at the rate it's going, if Hitchens outboxes him in 11 and 12, I feel like he has to win the fight. You know, lost a lot of the early rounds. Maybe there's a couple swing rounds, maybe here or there. But Hitchens is definitely in full control in this 11th round. This is exactly the fight that I envisioned in my head. A lot later in the fight, but... Oh, solid right hand from Hitchens. Another solid right hand from Hitchens. Yo, am I going to break my chair with these right hands? I might. These solid right hands from Hitchens. Tough round to score. Yeah, I mean, there is some tough rounds. But at this rate, man, these last four might go to Hitchens. And, you know, at that point, that's four there. I could see you giving Hitchens a round or two in the beginning. So now that's, what, almost a draw? So... Hitchens, oh, damn, yeah. Good thing is both these fighters will fight champions, neither are ducks. No, for sure. I mean, they kind of have to. They're kind of the least marketable guys in the division, so they have to go this route. You know, the true sport, the nature of the beast. No special effects, but fight. Essentially mandatories and the guys that no one wants to fight. Bailey says Hitchens doesn't want it bad enough. Paro is aggressive, just not effective. Hitchens is playing it safe. Seems like both have a silent agreement. I don't know. I feel like Paro's steam just kind of might have just went out. You know, all that movement and excessive jumping around takes a lot out of you. While Hitchens' style, just subtle movement. You know, he's able to conserve energy. His footwork is more about just keeping out of the danger zone. And even his upper body movement isn't over-exaggerated. So he's definitely going to be able to outlast Paro if he doesn't get damaged, you know. And, you know, neither one of these guys got truly damaged, you know, outside the blemish of Paro's eye. But it definitely feels like it's taken a lot of Paro to fight in this style, and it's starting to affect him in these later rounds because he's lunging, he's reaching. Good jab from Paro. But, ooh, another good jab from Paro. Hitch has got to be careful not to give this round away. You know, it's 38 seconds. You know, he's going to need these rounds to for sure close the show, in my opinion. But, not a lot of action, but, you know, it's definitely a boxing match. Looks like Paro is back this round. Chadwick, who's winning, is very close. Paro might maybe edge, or Hitchens might have just potentially just edged Paro. Like, they need these last two rounds. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I don't know. I think I give that round to Hitchens too. I don't see that. Tay says 6'5" Paro. I could see that. You know what I mean? I mean, for some... All right, let me see. I definitely felt like I gave Paro 4 rounds. I know there was a round that was definitely a swing round and another potential, I think the 5th round. Second and fifth could be potential Hitchens rounds. Don't remember the 6th, but I think this could be a draw, to be honest with you. Because I feel like, honestly, the last 3 rounds was all Hitchens. And I feel at the rate that is going, Hitchens is going to win the 12th round. So if he wins the last 4 and wins 2 of the early 6, which I actually feel like he could win 2, it's definitely going to be a draw. And maybe Paro by 1 point. Maybe if he's lucky. Because I honestly think I could see a 6-6. For sure these last 3 rounds are Hitchens. Like, if I see scorecards that say Paro at the end of these last 4, well, I mean, we haven't seen the 12th round, but let's say he has the same performance, you know, But who knows, man? Maybe a judge saw one of these last rounds and maybe gave it to Paro. If Paro got one of these last rounds, then Paro's gonna win the fight. If the judges see Paro sneaking out one of these last 4 rounds, then he might have edged it out. But this is a very close fight, and I feel like Hitchens needs this 12th round. I mean, they both need the 12th round, right? But I think Hitchens might need the 12th round more than Paro to at least solidify. I mean, that scorecard is egregious. 102, 107? He gave Paro 3 rounds? No way. No way. So the second round, I'm okay with it. And the 5th round, like I was mentioning, I don't remember the 6th round. I really don't remember the 6th round at all. I don't have a scorecard, but really? 9-3 Hitchens? Nah, yeah, Mayonnaise is bugging, bro. Silent agreement, last round, neither trying to finish strong. I mean, we'll see. Hitchens is starting to throw some heat. You know, he's definitely taking more chances. He's landing flush on Paro. I mean, 106, 103 Sporting News. Bad judge all fights. Yeah, this fight did. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of glad that the fight went fast at this rate. Hitchens is definitely more in control of the 12th round. Good couple jabs from Paro. Paro just needs to just squeak by. Like, he just needs to squeak by this round, and he might have it. But at this point, he let Hitchens come back into the fight. He needs to do some dramatic, drastic stuff. Make it ugly. Push him all over the place. You think Hitchens is up? That's fair. Probably, you know, it's a close fight. It's a close fight. Who's up on the scoreboard? 112, 111, Paro. If Hitchens wins this round, it's either a draw. Whoever wins this fight is probably by a round. And a draw is acceptable, you know. Hitchens is landing the more eye-catching shots. But, you know, there's a lot of great activity Paro has done in the early rounds that may not have been a great single highlight one shot. But there's a lot of great counters and a lot of busy work. You know, it was at a point where Paro was outboxing the shit out of Hitchens and out-countering him. So, but as of right now, we're in the 12th round, Mark. We're in the 12th round. It could be a draw. I'm feeling like it's a draw. You know, I feel like me and my unbiased attempt, right? It's an attempt. Yeah, I feel like a draw is okay. Winning by a round or draw, yeah. And it really depends on what you like. It's like, how do you score? Really comes down, how did you score the first 6? How many rounds did you give Hitchens in the first 6? Did you give him 2? Because Hitchens won the last 4. Without a doubt. And Paro, for sure in the first 5, definitely won, 3 or 4 of those, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like, no question, Paro won in the first 5. So, Mayonnaise' scorecard is crazy. We needed a knockdown, right? 12. He don't know what he's talking about. Are you actually watching the fight? What do you mean? You talking to me? You think this fight, Liam took the first 4 or 5? That's it? You think Liam took only 4 rounds? I don't know about that, brother. I don't know about that. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but to make it seem like that's that, like, I definitely can feel that Hitchens could have won this fight. But there was a lot of early rounds that he lost clearly because he was getting out counterpunched. He took the first 4 or 5 rounds. Okay. Well, but Maj, listen to you. If he took the first 5, the other 7 goes to Hitchens. Is that not a close fight then? You're proving my point that it's a fight that determined by a round for a winner. You just proved my point. Keep it real. Hitchens started warming up and it was easy work. Damn, Maj, you crazy. You crazy if you thought that was easy work. Look, I respect Hitchens winning by a round. And if you want to give it Paro squeaked it by a round, okay. And a draw, I think everyone will be okay. Minus you, Maj. I don't think that was easy work. If you call 5-7 easy work, it's not. Now those last 4 was clearly dominant. Clearly dominant. But 7 rounds was easy work? No, brother, you tripping. It was close. See, that's what I'm saying. No, I thought you were saying he could have lost. Well, it's if the fight is determined by a point or two, that's a close fight, and you know how boxing goes. You know what I mean? If it's a round or two, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Like, to me, what I think is easy work is what Chris Mannix thought that fight was. Chris Mannix thought that was easy work. Like, if you saw Chris Mannix's scorecard, you would have thought Paro didn't have any fucking success. Maybe 2 rounds or 3, and that's it. You know what I mean? That was an actual well-deserved win if Hitchens got the nod. You know what I'm saying? He might, Chris Mannix might be ringside. Maybe. Ringside is different. Like, when I'm not gonna knock it. Like, ringside is different. So boxing ain't easy. I didn't mean that. I mean, it's a clear choice after this round. Okay. I'm just your comments stood out a lot more than everyone else, Maj. That's why I'm coming at you. You said a couple stuff, but 7-5 maybe. Okay. Worthy of a rematch? I think worthy of a rematch. Is it a rematch that I want to see? No. I'll be honest. That was not a great fight. It wasn't easy, but I think it's clear Hitchens. It felt like Hitchens did what he needed to do, right? Because the last 4, Hitchens won. I saw in the first 6 rounds 2 possible rounds that Hitchens could have won. All right, so 4 and 6, bam. I'll be dead serious. I don't remember the 6th round. So if the 6th round was close, then Hitchens could have got. Hitchens dominated the fight. He definitely dominated the second half, but that first half he was getting cooked. Trash ass fight. That fight was not. I don't want to see it again. Pepe says new Mayweather. LOL. All right. Let's hear the scorecards together. I might be, yeah, it's over right now, so. All right. I'm going to be, like, behind you guys, so you guys are going to get the decision before me, so. That was one of the easiest fights for Hitchens. I don't know about one of the easiest. He made an adjustment the second half. Oh, no, Tede, 117-111. There's a 117-111? I'm not going to read the chat. I gotta hear it. 117-111 Liam Paro. Whoa. That's 116-112. Yo, these scorecards does not resemble. Hitchens won. My feeling was right. Hitchens won. But it was a close fight. I think a draw would have been probably the safe pick, right? The comfortable pick, right? I know that I wanted to celebrate me picking the fight, right? But at the end of the day, it was a close fight, to be honest. That's my honest opinion. I think the problem is that Paro may have had a couple close rounds, but those last 4 rounds was definitive to Hitchens. But in my all honesty, I thought Paro was dominating the beginning of the fight. I thought he was the better counter puncher, the more active puncher. I thought he was the guy that was landing the more flush shots, the more powerful jabs, the more visible rocking jabs. But when the tide turned in that second half, by far it was without a doubt Hitchens. So easy win for Hitchens. It wasn't easy, but he started off the shakies. It's just, you know how like some people feel like he's a slow starter? Hitchens to me felt like a slow starter. But once he finally got going, it wasn't even a question who was winning that portion of the fight. Hitchens clearly won the last 4. And if he had a couple swing rounds, that's all it takes. You know what I mean? Paro head was snapping back. Hitchens was never hurt at any point. I think he might have got like a couple good solid buzz jabs. You know what I mean? Nothing that was like, no one really got rocked. You know what I mean? Even when Hitchens did land solid flush hooks, no one got rocked. I think good, visibly good shots. So. Hitchens, let's go. Easy work. I told you Hitchens in the Mayweather. Jesus Christ, that fight was Hitchens by a mile. Part looked worse than Cambosa's. Am I am I like downplaying some of the stuff that I mean? Like, did Paro not have any success in the beginning of the fight? Like, I definitely did not pick Paro. If you rewind this stream back to the beginning of it, I said the bookies, the betting odds, and if you want to go with your brain, you should pick Paro because he's on paper the guy that you're supposed to pick. But I felt like if Hitchens had a better weight cut, which it seemed like he did, he would be better. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a close fight. Like, I'm not really here to gloat, even though I picked Hitchens. And for everyone, we're also getting ready to wait for Robies and Espinosa fight coming up, and Emmanuel Navarrete and Oscar Valdez. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the lines if you guys want to jump on here and talk, right? I'll be more than welcome to let you guys go up here and voice your opinion, right? I'll give you guys about like 3 to 5 minutes. Let me I'll pull this up real quick. Jump in the live to react to Hitchens beating Paro. All right. Boop. All right, so I'm going to open up the lines real quick. So if you guys want to jump in real quick, I'll put you guys one by one, maybe like 3 minutes a piece or so. If you guys want to give your honest opinion on the fight itself. So if you guys want to give your honest opinion, feel to jump in. I'll boop you guys in. You guys can talk about what you like, what you didn't like. It was not a close fight. You clearly need new glasses. So what was your? How did you score the first 4 or 5 rounds? You thought Hitchens won all 4 or 5 rounds? Paro did not win 4 rounds? Really? Hitchens made it look easy after 4 or 5 rounds. I don't know. I thought he started to actually take over within like the 7th round. Like the 7th round, I didn't think that was an easy fight, to be honest. 116 Hitchens. All right, I got my boy Lorenzo in here, man. What's up, Lorenzo, man? Give me your honest take, man. If you want.
You know what I'm saying? He not really too he not aggressive like on offense, but you know what I'm saying? He got great defense, good jab, good fundamentals. So, throughout this fight, I would say that he just stuck to the basics. You know what I'm saying? He a good basic boxer. He was jabbing them all night. It wasn't easy. I don't know. Them people who were saying that it was like super easy, I ain't gonna say that, but it was exactly how I thought Richardson Hitchens would win that fight. Like jab, catching stuff. He wasn't really hurt. You know what I'm saying? But Power probably won the first 2 or 3, but the first 5, nah, not at all.
Yeah,
Hitchens. I ain't gonna say dominated, but he got that for sure.
I think what I saw was right because if you I'm not going back and rewatching. I'm sure you're not. It wasn't a great fight, right?
Nah, nah,
Regard,
nah, hell no.
but there was a moment of time where when they were trying to exchange the jabs, that
Yeah,
Paro was actually kind of being first, and he was actually jumping up, landing some of the offensive jabs. In the
yeah,
first 6 rounds, I know that the second round could have been like a swing round. I could have seen Hitchens winning that, and
yeah.
I think like there was the 5th round that could have went either or, right? So
Yeah,
at
that's what I
that
said. 2 and 5, I for sure gave to Hitchens in my eyes.
correct, and then
That's what I got.
the last four, 100% was pure Hitchens. So that's 6 right
Yeah,
there. I
right,
think the 6th round, I said it on the stream. I don't remember the 6th round. So at
right.
the end of the day, I know the last round. If you want to look at it that way, if Hitchens won 6, from that perspective, and Paro won, about 4 or 5. Like you essentially, it's a kind of close fight at that
I'm
point.
saying 7-5, maybe. Yeah, I'm saying 7-5. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay, respect that.
So I'm
And
not gonna say he dominated him, but you know what I'm saying, he hit him with a lot of jabs. He controlled stuff. If he was more offensive, he would have dominated him tonight. But you know what I'm saying, that's just not his style. You know what I'm saying? That's not his style. I think he can beat a lot of fighters with his style, but if he was more offensive, he would be top two 140 pounder. I'll give him like top four right now though.
all right, before I let you go, because I got a queue of people jumping in, what do you want to see Hitchens go from here?
I think um maybe Ryo or one of the champions. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I'm not really familiar with the guys who are not champions. You know what I mean? So I don't know who he will fight besides the champion. But if he fought a champion, maybe Ryo and
Mm-hmm.
or Tio because of the beef they got. I would love to watch him fight Tio.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
great. Well, look, Lorenzo, I'm gonna jump to other guys. We're gonna also react to the next fights coming up, so I'll open up the lines in between those two. So I
for
appreciate
sure,
you jumping.
man. Hey, man, love your channel, man. I love the work you do, man. Keep going.
Appreciate it, man. And look, for everyone in the chat and yourself, I include, appreciate jumping up. Everyone's entitled to have their opinion, So granted, you don't have to necessarily agree, and you don't have to obviously, go against the grain. I appreciate you just coming and keeping it real and your honesty.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Stay safe out here, man. Yes, sir.
All right, man. All right,
Tio.
Attorney Bailey. I see you, Vic. So I'm gonna get to you, Vic, right after Attorney Bailey. All right. Oh shit. Bailey, I think you got like a echo effect going on. Let me turn this down real quick. Let me try one more time. Hey Bailey, if you can turn off, I think you have like the TV or the stream in the back. Once you turn whatever's in the back, the echo, I'll be able to bring you in. I'm gonna bring Vic in, and then I'll bring you in just so you can do your technical fix. What up, Vic? What's going on, man? Are you here to cook me, agree with me, or go against the grain, man? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, really? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Really showed tonight because Paro looked like a straight amateur. Like he was doing the bow and arrow jab. Like every punch he threw, both his hands dropped. I don't know. He just looked sloppy. I think he looked better against Matias because Matias is a caveman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he just. So I think the overrating of Paro kind of showed up tonight. That's what I would say.
So you said
I
you
felt.
gave you gave
Oh, go
three
ahead. I'm sorry.
rounds. You gave 3 rounds to Paro. Just curious, do you know what rounds you gave Paro?
I one of the early. I want to say like the fourth. It was either the third or fourth round. Maybe like maybe two of them rounds early. Maybe two of them. Maybe I had like 4-2 the first six. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember exactly what round. I'd be kind of hard pressed to really find them around in the last few. But it was maybe one close round that they could have gave him, where
Okay.
Hitchens looked like he got a little tired.
Did you feel like this was the fight where Paro, by at least second half, completely that's where he lost it? If he had any success, it was early on, but then from the second half, Hitchens just completely just dominated, and that's where.
The last six was just it did look easy. I feel like the reach he got it up to a point where he knew he was losing and he had to go into kind of desperation mode. You know, he went into desperation mode. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You realize he didn't have any tools in the bag. You know what I mean? He didn't have any tricks. He didn't make any adjustments except to go harder. But I mean, that's okay too. Sometimes it works.
With the I guess the slow start, right? Because that's how I felt Hitchens looked. His slow start, you give up maybe a round or two. I might be a little bit more critical in a sense, but it felt like it took a really long time to get to the dominant version of it, right? So
It
even
did.
if
I agree.
even if he won the later rounds, did it feel that same way that it took a very, very long time?
I was cursing Hitchens out looking at this. I was like, why are you making this hard? I love the way his corner attacked it though. Because they told him, like, why are you going backwards so much? Like, it didn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you got a guy in front of you that's got basically 2 punches that he can throw, period. And you making it look like you labor in the first 6 rounds. You know, it looked crazy. I was like, you got the reach by 6 inches, double the jab up. He didn't go to the body pretty much at all the whole fight. And that was kind of his downfall. He was supposed to stop Paro.
Mm-hmm.
He should have stopped Paro. No question.
With that, obviously, because I got a couple people here, my man, Real Street.
Absolutely.
You need to be fired, shit about boxing and GD. You guys can jump in. I mean, ultimately, like the way that I guess that I looked at it, right, is because of the stuff that we were speaking on, right? I saw that it could have been 2 rounds that Hitchens would have won. I thought that he lost. I mean, he won the last 4. At that point, that's a draw, all right? So ultimately, at that point, when you're teetering between a round or 2, right? And like I said, there's some close rounds in there between. It depends on what you like.
They about to get you. They about to get you.
I mean, that's true. But when the scorecards came, all right, and this is just an honest thing, did you by any chance felt like Hitchens was going to get 100%, or were you a little bit like?
I thought they would do something like give some sympathy rounds, and it'll be like, I think I scored it probably like 116, 112, 117, 111. It's around that. But I thought they would give him some sympathy and do like 115, 113. Because once you hype somebody up, this is what I noticed in boxing. Once they hype somebody up, they're going down with the ship. You know what I mean? They got to make it look a certain way. You know what I mean? So it's just like the rolling from Cambosos fighting Tio to fighting Haney. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the comparison. Like, Paro looked great against Matias, but then he fought a skilled boxer, and it was like, oh, okay. Sorry for what we did. It's not looking like we thought it would look. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Paro finding his place in boxing right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's for everyone in the chat too. As much as everyone comes in, this guy needs new glasses. I'm telling everyone in here, I picked Richardson Hitchins to win the fight. So at the end of the day, for everyone who says you don't know shit about boxing, I got my pick. So take that to the bank. And the fact that I thought it was a close fight at the end of the day, I mean, look, I ain't gonna.
I bet on KO 10. I bet on the KO 10 for Hitchens. Yeah,
that's fair.
So I was pissed. I was pissed off with it.
Well, look, Vic, I'm gonna let Attorney Bailey come in, and then we got the Espinosa Ramirez fight going on ESPN. I don't know if you know, but
I'm watching it now. Yeah.
I'm gonna get Attorney Bailey in, and then we're gonna start calling that in. And GD, man, get into the next. If you want to come and cook me, bro. That's what it's here for, man. So, all right, man, I appreciate you, Vic.
All right, brother Ron.
All right, Bailey.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
Quickly, man. I'm just stepping out these woods. Otherwise, I'll let you guys see my picture. I'm hunting tonight, but I had to watch the fight. So basically, this was about lack of skill versus another fighter that's not willing to finish. Hitchens has a heart problem, and I see it. That was a silent agreement. They both agreed to go to the end, basically. If you look at the last round is telling. The Paro just didn't have the skill set to hang in there with Hitchens. He was going in and out. Hitchens could have timed him when he was coming in. And he was timing him with that right hand. For some reason, Hitchens felt his power early wouldn't time him when he was stepping back in. And Hitchens just, for some reason, wouldn't take that chance. Paro just didn't have the skill. He was very it seemed like he was effective. He was aggressive, but not effective. Hitchens was efficient and more effective off his efficiency. But Hitchens got a heart problem. He should have finished strong. He could have stepped it up and finished this guy. He could have, but for some reason, he didn't. He won the fight, but this fight's not telling. Paro was limited. His skill set is not as strong as Hitchens. He tried, but his skill is not there. He had the will, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't there. So either the earlier rounds could have went either way. It seemed like Paro was dominant because he was moving forward, but he just wasn't effective. Hitchin was catching him with timing shots, but Hitchin was backing up all that stuff he taught before the fight. All like he was going to come forward. No, and then at the latter part of the fight, okay, he's going to pick it up. That's why his corner was yelling at him. Go get him. What are you doing? Go get him. That's a heart problem. I don't watch too many fights to see it. At the end, go back and look at the last round. Look at the last 20 seconds of that. If Hitchens started running about 10 seconds in, turn his back, like he didn't want to finish. He didn't want to finish strong. His corner was telling him, you need to finish strong. That's a heart problem. Hitchens need to go back to the gym and work on his heart. He won that fight, but he knew that guy was limited, and he knew if he stayed on the outside, he could catch him coming in and win the fight. Paro needs to go back and work on some stuff. He needs to work on some stuff. He can easily get timed against the top tier fighters. I could see it. He was coming in, coming out, and it was so all Hitchens had to do was I mean, I know I'm quarterbacking, but Hitchens had the talent to finish him. They had a silent agreement. They both wanted to finish in the end. They both didn't go for it because Paro knew he didn't have the skill. Hitchens knew, if I take a chance, he could finish me. So I'm gonna stay back and hit him with his right hand. He doesn't have the skill to finish me. He's not as athletic. I'm more athletic than he is. I'm just gonna hit him with his right hand. That was a silent agreement. That was a bullshit fight. Hitchens got a heart problem. That's my take on it.
My right before I let you go, because we got the Espinosa and Ramirez fight, right? Obviously, there's a contrasting the difference, right? I think prior to going into the celebration of Hitchens winning, right, there was a chat full of it was very close. Obviously, Hitchens wins. There's an immersive amount of people coming in and saying it wasn't close, right? And what I mean close is that I'm not saying that an 8-4 isn't possible, but there's swing rounds in the early 6th round that you could have potentially seen. Hitchens could have not. How would I say it? And maybe it's just my opinion, right? And I guess just my checking in this sense, right? I thought Richardson Hitchens essentially won the last 4, right? Like dominated, right? Potentially could have even started a round or 2 earlier. But within those first 4 or 5 rounds, there was rounds in there up to the 5th round that if you really wanted to give to Paro, you could have. And that's just my opinion. Did you feel that potentially that could have been the case, or am I 100% insane to think that? Which you can give me your honest take.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Okay, it's like football. If you got one dominant team and one team that's not it's not good, you feel that the team that's with lesser talent, if they just hang in there, they might win. That's what the first rounds were like. No one was overwhelmingly dominant. And of course, Paro was aggressive, but he wasn't overwhelmingly dominant. Now, the rounds that Hitchens won, they were overwhelmingly dominant. You could see it. So
I agree.
So you could see where if Paro was overwhelmingly dominant, he was effective but not efficient. You could see where he would lose a few rounds. It's just like I said, a strong football team playing a soft football team. If the soft football team got a chance, if that strong football team is not dominating overwhelmingly, and if it's in the end, it is anybody's game, and that's what happened. That's what happened here. But Paro's limited based on his skill set. He was aggressive, but like you said, when they were close, if they were close, the close rounds could have went either way. But Hitchens' rounds were not close. That guy was hitting him with that right hand. You could tell that was a clear winner there. So you could see if it was close where Paro could have lost those rounds.
What just happened? Yo, I'm sorry not to. I can the chat fill me in? Oh, Espinosa won. How did Espinosa just win? What just happened? Espinosa just beat Robies? What just happened? I'm sorry. Like, do you have the top ranked fights on, Bailey?
I don't.
Okay, so obviously there's this rematch going on, and I don't know. I just see Robies turning his back, and then the ref calls it off. Was there a knockdown? Let me see.
Usually that's from a good body shot.
Whoa! What just happened? He just like stopped. He just quit? Or did he something hurt? Robies just literally just stopped in the middle of the fight, turned and just walked away. They're saying that he can't see. He has double vision in his right eye. Oh my God, his bottom eye is swelling up like crazy. All right, Bailey, I appreciate you jumping in. I'm gonna figure out what just happened right here, but thanks for always the support. Awesome. I'll quote you if that happens. 1,000%. All right. Thanks, Bailey. All right. So I just had to switch. Thanks Bailey for jumping in. I have to figure out what just went down because there was a championship fight that I didn't even get to watch because I wanted to make sure everyone had an opportunity to jump in and talk. GD, you gotta come in here and cook me, bro. You can't just be in the chat. I need you to. But a punch landed on Robies, and Robies just refused to fight afterwards. Robies says he can't see. His jaw's not broken. That looked like it hit his eye. Robies was fighting scared as hell. Was it his jaw? No. He put his hand up and just was like, I'm done. Robies said, I'm legally blind. Yo. I didn't even watch the fight itself. This boy Espinosa is the new guy in the division now. Pimp Squad. Well, he quit. Yeah. I mean, essentially a punch landed, and he put his hand up as an AKA no mas. So they're talking about an elbow might have potentially landed, but it didn't look like an elbow. I saw someone saying that Robies was fighting scared. Good right from Espinosa. Robies trying to level change, but he has to be careful. Robies still back to fourth. Good left from Ramirez. That had to have been the weirdest stoppage. That shit must have hurt. I mean, Hector Garcia quit against Tank. I mean, not quit, but you get what I'm saying? Like, he's like saying he couldn't see, so he didn't get off the stool. Damn, his eye is like kind of fucked up though. Like, that seemed competitive, but Robies was blinking a lot prior. Maybe his eye is hurt. I mean, his eye does look messed up. Scared to death, Vic says. No, this isn't the Ryan. The next one's gonna be Oscar. We'll just do the Robies fight right now. Robies was beating him, but by the 6th round, he just stopped. If this is the retina injury, then Ramirez's career is over. Mainly just outboxing, huh? No extra. We're on getting ready to do the Valdez and Navarrete fight next. It could be a retina tear because after the stoppage. Yeah, he said it was double vision. He said he couldn't see out of his right eye. His right eye swollen. And then they said an elbow to the eye. I didn't see an elbow in that replay. Valdez is such a disappointment. I mean, the Valdez fight hasn't even happened yet. He said an elbow to his eye in the 4th. Oh, you're saying he got hit with an elbow in the 4th round, and then from that point on. Damn. I mean, it'll be on Twitter. Someone's going to do a compilation of it. He said he couldn't see since the 4th round. Man, I was joining that fight too. Man, I didn't even get to fight and watch the fight. Why does he sound like he's crying? I believe the elbow is accumulating on his eye, but was there a lot of elbows? Did you guys think there was a lot of elbows going on in there? I mean, this dude Espinosa is a tough dude, man. Apparently, like he's been on the scene for a hot minute in Mexico, so there's no surprise that he's having great performances against Robies and these other guys. Ugas is in the crowd, show out to him. Yeah, they both, Ugas and Robies both train with Salas out in Vegas, so that's why. There's a fight part in this second. It was even close to each other. Right? It's absolutely shy. It's just putting it around. Let me see. Look like Espinosa imposed that size and Robies wanted to leave. He's a big ass dude, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I interviewed him and I talked to him in person, I'm so shocked that he's in this weight class. I'm trying to see if these elbows that they're talking about in these replays, I don't know, I didn't get to see the fight. These replays don't really show. I don't know. Do these elbows really look like... Do these look like elbows? I don't know. I heard that after this Espinosa is going to move in weight, and I heard he's been strong. Yeah, he's a big-ass dude. Khan. He's for sure is big. He's definitely struggling. My volume's really low. Is that better? I'm going back and forth. My bad. How about that? That's better? He's literally the Sebastian Fedor 126. He might even be bigger than Sebastian Fedor in that weight class. Like, he's giant. The slow-mo showed an accident elbow. It seemed to hit Robesi's open right eye, and eyelash in my eye drives me crazy, so I could only imagine elbow for him. My bad, bro. Hell yeah. No, you're good. Look, if my volume ever sounds like shit, just let me know so I could fix it. I don't want to be in here sounding all messed up and everything, so. So now we're waiting for the Valdez and Navarrete fight next. I mean, look, I can't even be mad at a guy. If he can't see, he can't see. You know, I know people are gonna be like, oh, you know, his vision's all messed up and he should have kept fighting. Like, only he would know, right? So if his vision of being able to see his family and kids is more important, then so be it. That's his career, that's his life, so I'm not gonna knock it. But damn, that sucks. Because this was supposed to be like an all-out war, right? You know, the first fight was like insane, so. But at the end of the day, Espinosa is the world champion still. So I know Shushu Carrington's there to scout for opponents. I mean, that's a dangerous opponent for Shushu. So Fedor at 154 definitely can't be healthy. Nah, I mean, he makes the weight fine, I guess. His sister makes her weight fine too. So I don't know how they do it. He says he still can't. I mean, they're really skinny and lanky, so. He says he still can't see out his right eye. They rush him to the hospital. That's scary, though. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if you're fighting this big, monstrous guy, and all of a sudden, like, your right eye is starting to see double, and all of a sudden then you start and can't see, it's just, that's terrifying. At some point, this might also be the end of his career, if you think about it. If he kind of goes a little bit blind in that right eye, he can't dodge punches from that point on. He can't pass exams, so... You know, it's scary. That might be the end of his career if it gets really bad. So I wish the best. And, you know, Robesi's not like a terrible person that I met. You know, he's a guy that came from Cuba who wanted to have a better opportunity after winning the gold medal against Shakur Stevenson. So my guy Navarrete is going to refund us with his performance. We'll see, man. Navarrete's last couple performances has been very, very suspect. So, and when I interviewed Valdez told me pretty much like, hey, you know, ultimately, oh, let me get rid of this too. Unpin that, boom. You know, ultimately, the Shakur Stevenson loss, he was just like, I could accept that loss because I knew I did everything in my power, and it's still like at the end I couldn't beat him. Navarrete, I felt like there was so many other things that I could have did, and you know, at the end of the day, like, I feel like I can win this fight. So Bailey says, you move around and try to get your legs, or eyesight rather, just to turn and say that's it. Try to get your legs. I don't know. Like, I can definitely say that, like, ultimately maybe, you know, you can try to take a knee or things like that and try to recoup, but this might have been something that's been lingering for a long time, and it probably got progressively worse to the point where he just had to just throw in the towel himself. Like, if he goes blind, then just, like, you know, obviously the right call, but I think, if to be fair, if his eye was having issues since the 4th round and that was the 6th round, he was doing that for 2 rounds. So maybe that was the result of what you were saying, but that was just enough. It was enough. Doing 2 rounds of that might have been it. So Khan says it was ironic that Ugas was in the crown considering he got orbital damage from Errol Spence fight, and again the Barrios one too. Crazy. Yeah, it might be that Jim's curse, because Salas trains Ugas and Robies, and now they both have eye injuries. Very unfortunate, man, and it's very frustrating because these injuries that occur to your eye sometimes doesn't affect. It doesn't like necessarily like take away the fact that you were beaten to a certain degree, right? Like, the fight could have still went on. That's how people feel, but yeah, it's just, you just had to stop, you know. Something similar happened to me when I competed in amateur boxing. I lost vision after a thumb in my eye. Lost sight for at least 3 hours. Spent 2 days in the hospital. It could be serious. Yeah, that's why I'm like, this guy is a gold medalist. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just can't see. What's this? This motherfucker used to be talking so much shit too. Jesus Christ. Devin Haney's on a tear right now. But yeah, that eye injury stuff is serious. Who you got? Valdez versus Navarrete? Alright, so damn, I didn't even get to like publicly pick. Well, I mean, I was gonna pick Espinosa, but you know, it doesn't count because I didn't say it. So, but I picked Richardson Hitchins on a feeling, and I got it right, even though I was getting cooked that I thought that the scorecards could have been a lot closer than what entailed. But for Navarrete versus Valdez, that's tough because taking what Valdez says, he told me going into this fight, he legitimately believes in his heart that he did so many things wrong that could have won him the fight, and that's why he feels that he can win this fight. But with Shakur, he felt he did everything he could and still couldn't beat him on any point, and he just ate and accepted that fine. So that's real honest and transparency. So if a man's telling you that, you know, I have to believe that he makes those type of adjustments. The only problem is Navarrete is such an awkward guy. You really can't really make adjustments for a guy like that. You just have to fight him and have to rely on your actual abilities because he's so weird. He's so strong. He's so awkward. But Navarrete's had really shitty performances, and he doesn't seem as motivated. You know, when I interviewed him for the Branchik fight, yeah, I mean, he was into it, but he came in the fight. He looked kind of chunky, but it's his fourth weight class, so he might have been blown up. You know, he just doesn't really seem like the same Navarrete who hit the scene against Dogbo, or Dogbay. So I don't know. It's tough. I think right now, like, what are the odds? Like, what do the bookies have it? Navarrete is big for 130, but keep in mind he's going back down in weight. No, they haven't walked out yet, Titus. So we already did the Hitchens. We did the Robies. Robies had to call quits. But coming up is Navarrete and Valdez. So we're waiting for them to do the ring walk, so they haven't. Devin Haney call out was not expected. Well, Richardson Hitchins called out Devin Haney. I didn't even get to listen to the post. So split decision or unanimous? You know what? I'm going to say Navarrete because the dude got a freakish long reach. I think it was like 8 inches. No diddy against Valdez. And yeah, he just had so much more success against him in Valdez. It's just, what made it competitive is that unfortunately he had a freak injury and one of his arms couldn't work. So I think I'm edging Navarrete. Like, I think Navarrete will win the fight. But Valdez is extremely motivated. Like when I talked to him a couple weeks ago, like, he was telling me, like, yo, like, it almost, I don't want to sound cliche and corny when I say this shit, but it's like, it kind of gave me chills because, like, you can feel how much pain he was and how excited he was, also happy to get the fight. And for me to kind of grasp, like, what's the difference between this and the Shakur, he was very authentic about the idea that he just couldn't beat Shakur. And he knows in his heart that he could beat this guy. So it's just hard because is that like genuine, honest, like, how would you say, honest, how would I say, is he just like talking to like talk, or is he actually taking legitimate criticism from his team and himself from that fight and then actually like put it to work? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. The more motivated fighter is Valdez. The less motivated fighter is Navarrete. The more God-gifted, talented fighter is Navarrete. The more disciplined, better corner, the former Olympian, is Valdez. So split or decision, young Earl. Bro, I don't know. This might even fucking end in a stoppage, bro. Like, Navarrete just punishes people. I don't know. I just don't think this is going to the decision. I don't know. I know Valdez is tough as shit. Navarrete is tough as shit. But Navarrete, I've seen him get cooked a little bit in certain fights and looked like he was going to go. And Valdez has been in so many wars. I honestly, Young Earl, I just don't think this is going to go to decision. This fight just screams blood and guts and war, and I think it's going to get stopped, personally. I think there's going to be a stoppage. Damn, that's disappointing. Robies and Paro. Was rooting for them both. Got Inoue over Goodman, even though I'm an Aussie. Was hoping to see Inoue Ramirez. Yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, come on, that's Inoue. Like, Sam Goodman's a good guy, but, you know. Paro, I really gave Paro a lot of credit in the early rounds. And I have no actual reason because I'm more considering biased towards Hitchens. I know Hitchens. Like, I've covered him at a very early state of his career, super early. And I would always love to see him to be a world champion. Like, I have interviews that are like 6 years old, 7 years old with Richardson Hitchins. Like, super old. So I'm biased, like, in that sense. Like, I would prefer for him to win, like, because I know him on a deeper level. But, no. But, you know, it just felt like Hitchens edged the fight out. So, I don't know why I even got into that. Oh, the Paro? Yeah, Paro just couldn't make the adjustments the second half, man. He just, you know. That second half was just purely dominated. And that's why I picked Hitchens to win the fight. I just thought, you know, he was going to, I guess, do that, but a little sooner. Which everyone came in like, he did do it sooner. Nah, he didn't. Navarrete is tough, but he has a type of style that doesn't favor longevity in boxing career. They both really don't. They really don't. He takes tons of punches and takes a lot out of a fighter, to be fair. Valdez, too. Oh, man, see? I should have read the whole thing. I feel like Navarrete gets hit more, though. I think when you started out, you know, with that Navarrete's tough way gets hit, I think he gets hit more. So I just don't feel like he's motivated. I don't know what it was when I talked to him. Navarrete just never felt motivated, even the Branchett fight. And so once I noticed that lack of motivation and energy, he lost his fight. He essentially would have lost to Robson Casacao if he didn't get the knockdown. You know, and he started having, like, tough fights for journeyman, too. So, damn, maybe I should lean to Valdez, bro. Like, maybe I should. Oh, man. I still got time. They haven't made it in the ring yet. I just caught the moment live, and Ramirez got to say, what up, Eric Bell? His decision is questionable, like Manning said about the first Espinosa. He had a broken ankle and ended up winning. Hope it ain't right. Hope I ain't right. Yeah. Gotta pray for him. Got Valdez. Hope at least he gets the win. I just know Valdez is the more motivated fighter. Like, while we're waiting, I'll pull up my Valdez interview. Like, dude, he was stern. Like, serious. Navarrete late stoppage. I'm convinced that Valdez is the kid of Chavez Jr. He might be. Chavez love him some Valdez. Navarrete said he wants to retire at 30. Yeah, you're starting to hear that a lot more, like Tank. But yeah, that lack of motivation, you know. The only thing about Navarrete is he's just so freakishly athletic. You know, he has like a flat stomach, doesn't look like a six-pack. All his punches seem like they hurt. What time's the Navarrete fight? We're waiting for him to get in the ring. They're in the locker room right now, so we're going to end the night with a blood and guts fight. Robson gave everyone trouble except Shakur. I mean, the only thing T-Fox is that Shakur did come overweight, and Shakur did kind of hit him a lot in the low blow, you know what I mean? But Shakur did dominate him. He punished him, but yeah, Robson's essentially beaten out Valdez in many people's eyes. Navarrete's just a freak, though. Like, when it comes to his, like, fighting style, triple uppercuts and shit, like, who does that? That's such an unsafe move to do triple uppercuts. So, Navarrete says he doesn't even follow a diet. He eats whatever he wants. He's very casual and with his approach, but he's indeed just naturally strong. Like, it's like he does everything wrong in boxing, and I want to pick against him so bad. Because the more disciplined fighter is Valdez, the more motivated fighter is Valdez. The guy who probably is going to come in here and his mindset already won the fight is Valdez. You know, Navarrete's probably a defeated fighter. But Navarrete's a freak. He's strong, he's powerful, he's athletic. He throws punches like you can't expect. Triple uppercuts and 2 hooks to 4 uppercuts with the lead hand. Like, what? How do you prepare for that? So, I was saying, Ron, that Paro shouldn't have tried to outbox the boxer and try to keep it in the center. If he kept being aggressive and rough up Richard, he could have had the edge. Yeah, I mean, I really believe, like, Con, you were here, I really believe that he was outboxing Hitchens in, like a lot of the early rounds. You know what I mean? So it seemed like he had success, but after a while, Hitchens just completely took over, especially the last four or 5 rounds. So, but could Paro rough him up? Is that Paro's style? He's kind of like a boxer too. So, you know, ultimately they should have worked on a plan B and C, and that should have been in there. Just make it rough and dirty. And trying to box him in mid-range, especially that second half, was just not it. So I agree with you. I agree. I just don't know if he has that. Have you ever seen Paro just fight like a Gustavo Lemos? The question is, does Valdez have the ability to make the necessary adjustment? I don't know. He's pretty worn down too. So Chavez told to his face he was gonna lose. Oh, I didn't watch that Top Rank thing. Is that what it is when they sat down? Really? So my mind was leaning Navarrete, regardless of how much Valdez talked a good game to me. You know, it's very emotionally driven, but you know, I think he's at the tail end of his career, so. Also, Navarrete was struggling with an injury from Robson Casca fight. He didn't have time to recover and deny one, but he said he was ready and confident. Yeah, he had that freak arm accident, right? So, to be honest, if he didn't have that freak arm accident, he would have just completely demolished him, in my opinion. So, it became a situation where Valdez couldn't see out of his eye because of Navarrete's punching, but Navarrete he struggled because his arm kind of gave out, so. I'm going to have to go Navarrete. I think Navarrete gets the job done. Valdez is not busy enough to overcome Navarrete's style. Bailey, great point. That's a very great point, honestly. I think you made a really good point because the activity level of Navarrete is insane. And he was just constantly just putting the onslaught. Plus, dude, like, Valdez was landing some clean flush shots, and it was barely moving him. I mean, I won't say barely moving him, but you know what I mean? Like, he's already awkward, so he moves all over the place. But I felt like when Navarrete was really putting on Valdez, he was really hurting. So, yeah, top rank needs to get this stuff going, bro. It's like, come on, man. This is the only thing I hate about being a fight fan, is that, like, you're up so damn late. Navarrete doesn't even have muscles, but he's super strong, has insane stamina. He's a complete anomaly. You know what's the saddest thing, Mr. Grind? I wish Navarrete beat Baranchek, and we got to see Keyshawn David versus Navarrete. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That would have been a great fight. It still can be a good fight because he could move back up, but you know what I'm saying? Navarrete versus Keyshawn Davis for the WBO. Oh, that would have been lit. If Valdez loses, he should call a career and become a trainer, help produce the next generation of champions. All right, so Valdez is coming in the ring right now. All right, let me turn the volume down a little bit. And become a trainer, help produce the next generation of champions. But I believe Valdez would make a great trainer. Far as certain fighters can see that. Yeah, it could be a trainer, a commentator. You know, he just took in so many wars, man. Like, he fought, you remember Scott Quigg when he had his jaw broken? You know, it's just, he's a blood and guts warrior. And if he could pull this off, man, my hat goes off to Valdez. Like, because at that point, you can say his only loss was to Shakur Stevenson then. You know, I mean, outside of this, you know, he avenged it, but that's what I meant. The only person he didn't right his wrong was Shakur Stevenson. That's not wrong. Navarrete already talking about retirement at an age and undisciplined, but he's so strong, awkward to deal with. Yeah, see, it's like if you took Navarrete's motivation, I mean Valdez's motivation, put in Navarrete. I don't know though. Let's see, man. Like I'm a decision or KO. Damn, Valdez is tough, bro. It's someone's getting stopped. Right, chat. I got stoppage. I just feel like they both took so much punishment at this point of their career that there's no way that they go another 12 rounds. Keyshawn versus Martin needs to happen now. Oh man, I got Keyshawn. You know, it'd be a good fight though. Valdez looks a lot older than he actually is in the face. Here comes out Vaquero. Yeah. Valdez gets stopped this time around. Yeah, you feeling that right? Navarrete stops him. All right. I'm going out there on a whim. All right, I got the Richardson Hitchins pick right. I didn't get to say Espinosa, so I can't really claim that. I think I said on another stream, but it doesn't matter. So if I go 1 for 1 tonight, I'll be okay. I just can't go 0 for 2. So Navarrete by stoppage. Navarrete has that nasty lead uppercut too, like triple lead uppercut. This is the thing that's going to bug me, though. Valdez can land clean flush shots out of fucking nowhere, right? Just... Valdez is definitely going on the shield. That's the kind of his thing. Oh, yeah. If Valdez goes out on his shield tonight, we're going to start to see a new era of boxing emerge. Like, the end of one and the turn of new. Because at once upon a time, you know, we used to watch Valdez come up. And he was this like top-ranked darling from the Olympics, Gatorade, you know, sponsorship, like packing out. I mean, he's still essentially packing out Phoenix, but he created such a diehard fan base that when I went to watch him versus Shakur Stevenson, it was, I'm not even gonna lie, that whole crowd was Oscar Valdez. Like, yes, there's Shakur Stevenson fans in there, but I'm telling you, that was all Oscar Valdez. And the way that Shakur sucked the life out of the MGM, like, it was unbearable. Like, it felt like my ears was ringing. I have a recording on my phone where it sounds like one of the most loudest cheers I've seen for a championship fight. But then after a couple rounds, I kid you not, I could probably hear people coughing from, like, seats, like, almost across the arena. So he has an insane fan base that supports him. I mean, look how packed this place is. This place is packed. So I'll be 0-2 if I'm wrong. Who'd you pick today? You picked Navarrete, right? Okay, yeah. But the only thing, the thing about the Richardson Hitchins fight is that, like, I was privy of seeing what he was capable of doing. Like, I've seen him spar. I've seen some of his work. Like, I know what he's capable of doing. So I just felt that the Lemos fight just didn't represent entirely what I knew he was able to do. So we got a lot of footage from that Richardson Hitchins fight that I should have probably been playing. Because Valdez was raised in Arizona but born in... That's true. But still, man, they come out and support him hard, man. Like, they came to Vegas. They went out to Vegas for the Shakur fight, you know? Like, they packed that place out. Valdez trains with Canelo. Canelo loaned him some of his fans. That's a good point. Oh, boy. Very, 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 very excited to see an actual blood and guts fight, because I'm not going to lie, that was not the most entertaining fight. That Paro fight was not that great. to win, actually.
Champion of the world from San Juan, Mexico.
Would you consider this like a throwback fight? Like, would you put this in like Morales and Barrera and Marquez and like, are we about to watch this era's Morales and Barrera? All right. First round. Let's get it cooking. I really feel like the hype for this week was Paro and Hitchens. I feel like more people were more interested in that fight for this fight. But this is the fight that creates the guaranteed excitement, personally. Nah, they ain't on that level. All right, first round. Oh, these guys are just going at it already. This is going to be hard to call. I'm just going to just react. All right. As in right now, these guys are straight to the center of the ring. They started throwing punches. Valdez is throwing bombs. Oh, my God. Valdez landed a solid, mean left hook right on Navarrete. Can we get a play-by-play? I can't watch right now. I'll try my best, Winston. I think Valdez is done. So right now, Valdez is throwing a jab to the body. And you can see Navarrete has a very awkward style, moving around. Valdez is just swinging hard hooks. Another right hard swing misses. Navarrete is on his back foot, just kind of boxing him a little bit. He's actually jabbing Valdez a little bit. Valdez seems very compact and tight. In a sense, you know, he's definitely trying to throw some loaded shots and try to catch Navarrete slipping. Navarrete is just constantly pumping out a very awkward jab, keeping his distance. And Valdez looks like he's trying to measure up a mid-range shot. Big right hook to the body lands for Valdez, and the right hook misses. Valdez dodges and misses two of Navarrete's punches. These guys are already probably throwing more punches already in this fight already than Hitchens and Paro did in the first round. I mean, in the first couple rounds. So these guys are going to fight, man. As right now, Valdez is still compact and tight, trying to move, inch a little bit closer. You can see him. He's trying to inch up to try to load up on big hooks. A left hook lands from Valdez on Navarrete. A right hook lands on Navarrete from Valdez. These are good shots. Valdez looks very, very good right now. Valdez looks a lot more aggressive. He does. He's motivated. Like I'm telling you, when I talked to him, he was extremely serious. He felt like he could make the adjustments. He literally felt like that was a fight he could have won. So a good wing and left. Navarrete signals back of the head. They clinch right now. Oscar's going out for it. Yeah, he is, young. He's going out on his shield. He's emotionally invested in this fight. He feels like apparently someone told me that. Ooh, good solid two left. Oh, Valdez is down. Valdez is down. Oh my God. Navarrete lands a good shot. Oscar's signaling back of the head, but no. Final 10 seconds and Valdez is swinging. Navarrete is putting some more pressure on him. Damn, bro. Valdez just went down in the first round already. Oh, my God. That's going to eat him because he was winning the round. He was winning the round. Clearly, Oscar looked compact right now. Yeah, he looked compact, and he was on the floor. Valdez looks tense. Navarrete looks like he was just a random patron chilling in the crowd, and someone asked him, hey, you want to go fight Valdez? Guy, he's right over here. He's strong, man. Yeah, younger. Oh, my God. Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like, I can't be fooled by his lack of motivation. He's a fucking phenom. Don't believe that was a knockdown? Valdez looks compressed. Was that not a knockdown? I don't know. Let me. I don't know. That looked like that looked like on the side of the head. What, Mr. Quake? Navarrete just has his number. Yeah. Yeah, that was not back of the head, man. Navarrete is the drunk essay that happens in no boxing. Saturday Night Fight is fight night. No, that was a short hook. Yeah, that was a legit knockdown. Yeah, I'm not buying that. That was. So after the first round, Valdez gets dropped, and another shot. That same shot caught Valdez again. At this point, man, Navarrete's putting a lot of damage and punishment. A left hook lands right on Valdez. Valdez ties up. Valdez looks kind of like he's in trouble, guys. He's winging hard shots, but to be honest, it doesn't really look great. Valdez already looks like his legs are already starting to go a little bit. Navarrete is such a powerful puncher, man. And at this point, you can't just help to feel that Valdez is going to get caught with something again. Good body shot from Navarrete landing on Valdez. Ooh, good solid right from Valdez right on Navarrete. Oscar's trying to put some pressure on Navarrete, but Navarrete's throwing punches to punch him off him. Good jab from Valdez. A wing and right hook from Valdez throws. Lead left hook. Valdez misses. Good jab from Valdez. Another good jab from Valdez. Another good jab from Valdez. He's pushing Navarrete back. Valdez pushes Navarrete back in the corner. They clinch. Valdez defense is falling apart at this point. Yeah, this is gonna be a maybe mid. I think it's gonna be a mid fight. We'll see. I mean, that shot definitely woke Valdez up, man. Once again, Valdez looks like he's more in control again, and then he gets caught with a 3-punch combination from Navarrete and a lead left hook. Oh, and another left and a right lands on Valdez. Navarrete's just teeing off a left and a right and a left and a winging left hook on Valdez lands on Navarrete. Navarrete just pouring shots right over on. This is looking bad. Valdez needs to smother the punches. Navarrete's open for overhand right. I mean, I think he's open for a lot of these overhand rights, Bailey. I think you're just right. But the problem is, I don't know if it's the fact that if Valdez can't land these shots. I think it's the fact does Valdez actually have the ability to take Navarrete's shots? These are the type of shots that, regardless if you have success with hooks, they're just devastating. Like, I don't know if Valdez can endure this type of punishment from Navarrete for 12 rounds. It's just, these are just strong as heavy, freakish power punches. Straight beats looping. Valdez is having success with straights. He just needs to stick to that. He definitely is the more compact, precise, accurate puncher when it comes to like setting up his shots. But Navarrete just throws and throws and throws, and he just lands like crazy amount of punches on this guy, man. Like, it just feels like when Valdez gets hit, it hurts really bad. When Valdez lands shots at Navarrete, it buzzes him. You know, like good jabs that sent him back. But yeah, Navarrete's landing some shit. Yeah, he's too small. Yeah, you just get this sense of feeling that. Yeah, that was a good round, Con. Nav looked a little winded after that combo. He does get winded, Bailey. You're 100% right. He does get winded. You've seen it in his other fights. But what happens is, out of nowhere, he gets this freakish sense of, all right, I got to fight again. And he just throws 50 different punches and then just... And it's so awkward, right? Like, it's his art. Navarrete's so unorthodox, it's impossible to have a fight plan against him. You can't prepare for him. How do you get sparring for him? He's so awkward. Third round right now. Valdez is putting pressure again. Tries to go for that swinging right, just like Bailey was talking about, but misses. Navarrete is just being patient, keeping his distance. Valdez is slowly creeping a little bit. Right now, Valdez is just trying to get in the inside while Navarrete's jabbing, keeping him on the outside. Navarrete has a good, solid jab. Keeping a good distance, tries to follow it with a right and misses. Valdez gets out of the way of some shots. Navarrete's a lackadaisical puncher, just punches the target any which way he can. Yeah. That's why I was saying, young Earl, his reach is like 8 inches. He has a way bigger reach than Valdez. That you can see the distance, the range that he keeps him from. Good jab from Valdez. Landed on Navarrete. Valdez literally has an uphill battle. And not only the fact that it's an uphill battle, but this guy can take some good punches, and he for sure gives better punches. Shakur's been wanting to smoke with Navarrete. That would be a good fight, but I got Shakur. Yeah, it would have been better if he won the WBO belt, but he could still go back and wait, you know. Good head movement from Navarrete. He dodges a lot of punches from Valdez. Navarrete looks very elusive right now. I just don't see Valdez winning a brawl with this guy. He has to like, ooh, solid right hook from Navarrete. Navarrete gets hit by a left hook by Valdez. I don't know. I just feel this sense of danger that's occurring right now. Valdez looks a little troubled right now. He ties up. He looks very uncomfortable wanting to fight in a firefight, but he knows he has to enter the fire. These guys are exchanging hooks again. And a solid left hook from Navarrete. Valdez goes down on the floor. It's a slip. Not looking good for Valdez. Head is with Navarrete, but heart with Valdez. Yeah, it's... Valdez put that body work and make it interesting. I don't even know if there's anything he can do. He just looks like he's just being smothered by this humongous power puncher. This guy looks bigger than him too. Every time Valdez gets hit clean, he seems hurt. I agree. Navarrete never bruised or marked. Oscar's trying to use that peekaboo style defense, but Navarrete got gonna get that eye sooner or later. I must say, Mexican guys gives the best fights. This is a great. I mean, look. Regardless of how we see it, Valdez is definitely going in there with heart. So we know that we're not gonna get a fighter that's gonna be scared or timid. You know, he's gonna be a guy that's gonna react off of what type of punches he gets hit with. And you can see that Valdez is trying to fight him. And when he gets hurt, he does retreat a little bit, but I feel like this might be Valdez's last fight if this continues. Yeah, Mr. Grandy, I mean, he's been in a lot of tough fights. I also felt like Valdez feels like if he can't get this rematch, then, you know, it's, you know, kind of end. I think that's why he's so invested in this fight. Because where do you go after this? If you can't beat Navarrete, right? Like, where do you go? You know, do you continue your career? I mean, you can, but, like, this is where you relaunch your career. You know, and plus you're taking so much punishment. We're in the 4th round. They're tied up right now. Yeah, Navarrete blew up and wait. Valdez is clinching a lot more this round. Valdez is definitely trying to turn this into a firefight, but it's not smart. I think you should definitely try to box him, but I don't know how you can with that guy with that reach. Navarrete is like Benavidez at 130. That's a good example, right? Navarrete is not in condition, conserving energy early and then explode. Valdez can get him later rounds. He does fight in spurts, I agree. But he also feels a lot more motivated in this fight than he has in his other one. So I don't know about his condition because it's tough to see his body. You know, I mean, based off his stamina, based off his body. So Navarrete is a sleeping Mexican that decided to box after rounding up cattle all day. Valdez is consumer professional. How relax the tool is the time to. Oh man, Navarrete's teeing off more shots than Valdez. Valdez ties up. You can tell Valdez is looking for a one-hitter quitter, man, and that's what he's doing. He's winding up and waiting. He's trying to disguise his hooks like Bailey was talking about. Good jab from Valdez. Good left hook from Valdez. Another good jab from Valdez. Valdez is starting to box a lot better. Kind of what you need to do. Pick your shots. Don't turn into a war. A left hook swings and a miss. Navarrete's kind of struggling to land some solid shots this round. You know, defensively, Valdez is moving well, picking good shots, kind of getting in and getting out, staying away from danger. Ooh, but Navarrete landing some good shots right there on Valdez. And a good solid lead uppercut lands on Valdez. Bailey says Navarrete is not in condition. Valdez can't seem to hurt Navarrete, no. But it seems like every time Navarrete lands on Valdez, Valdez is like in trouble and he puts his high guard. He just got rocked, he just got hurt, and he got dropped. Valdez just got dropped at the end of the round. He did. Valdez just got dropped down for a second time, just like I was assuming. Like every time he gets hit, he has to put his high guard up. He kind of wobbles a little bit. He kind of shells up, and it's accurate and defensively responsible Valdez tries to do and pick his shots and get out the way. Once Navarrete turns it up on him, there's nothing you can do, man. Like there's nothing Valdez can do at this point. This is bad, yeah. And I don't even think Navarrete's even like putting on like a performance of like greatness. Like he's just comfortably fighting him like a sparring partner, as disgusting as that sounds. A 2-division world champion is being almost treated like a sparring partner. Valdez looks like he's fighting like the boogeyman, the big guy that essentially nobody can fight. Who said Navarrete's the Benavidez of 130? Chef Kiss. That's like the best comparison. How do I gotta pin that. That's what I'm getting. As much as Valdez does everything right, it takes 3 seconds to erase everything. And that's what I see. Yep, he dropped them. Feel bad for Valdez. Ringside doctors looking at Valdez already. Navarrete may have a flabby body, but he is a non-stop puncher. Oh my God, a vicious right just lands right on top of Valdez. Oh my God, another right hand lands on Valdez from Navarrete. Oh my God, a lead left hook lands on Valdez from Navarrete. Big left from Valdez, but this is not where you want to be, like I was saying. Don't be in a brawl. But I guess that's what he feels like he needs to do. There's no hope. If Valdez goes down again, I hope they stop it. There's nothing you can really do in a fight like this. And I don't think Oscar Valdez should feel like there's, how would I say, there's something that he could have did. Like it was his mistake or like he's incompetent. Like you're fighting a guy who's just naturally a freak. Navarrete's a freak. This guy has clearly went up multiple divisions and dominated talented fighters after talented fighters and essentially made it look easy. And it wasn't until he got into higher weight classes where he seemed disinterested and bored, where he kind of started to look lackluster against gold medalists above his weight and Ukrainian Olympians. But man, when it comes to this Valdez fight, you can see already in his face, Valdez is just starting to take punishment to the body. Valdez is just walking high guard, trying to put pressure, but he's taking a lot of shots. He's taking 2-3 shots. Maybe Navarrete goes more to the body. He can maybe finish this. I mean, Valdez has a heart of gold, man, but they're going to stop this. We're only in the 5th round. Valdez has got a long night ahead of him. You don't want to get into a brawl. And you don't. This high guard trying to put pressure and maybe trying to tire him out, I don't know if it's going to work. You know, he's fighting off pure heart. You can see it. High guard walking forward, winging single hooks from a far distance against a guy that has like an 8-inch reach advantage. Body shot from Valdez landed. But who knows, man? Valdez hurt now with a body shot and did not know it. That's what Bailey sees. Bailey sees that Navarrete is not in good shape. You know, conditioning-wise. I mean, he's going to the body a lot right here. You might be right, Bailey. About like 15 seconds in, he landed a good body shot on Navarrete. But a mouthpiece goes out. Bruh, I even stopped scoring at this point. No need to. It really becomes... Oh, my God. And it's not like I'm just interested. It just feels bad. You can't brawl with him. You definitely can't outbox him on the outside with that reach. So what do? Like, you're just... I'm like almost hysterically laughing. Like, what do you do? Man, dude, Valdez has a heart of gold, man. How does this dude put himself in a position like this again? Want to put himself in a position like this again? Jesus, Ron. Now we're at the uppercut. That's his best punch. He throws like one. He has like one of the best uppercuts in boxing, and it's so awkward. And he'll throw 3 of them at the same. He'll throw 3 of them back to back to back with no hesitation. One of the most dangerous punches to throw to get countered. He'll throw it 3 times and land probably all 3 of them. It's insane. The amount of heart that Oscar Valdez brings to want to fight this dude again, and then not wanting to quit after getting dropped twice and eating these vicious shots. And he's throwing, he's winging, bro. This might go the distance. Maybe, right? This man's heart might keep him in for 12 rounds. I mean, look how energetic he's still going. He's still trying. He's still going for it. He's throwing. I don't know, man. If this goes 12 and Valdez gets takes a beating for 12 rounds, man, listen. I'll never talk bad about Valdez. I just wish he would go to the body more versus these head hunting shots. Like if Valdez just, like Bailey was talking about, going to the body more and more and more and more and more, we'll probably have a change of pace. But good jab from Valdez. Navarrete's on his back foot. Oscar's putting a lot of pressure. Valdez admitted that Liam Wilson almost stopped him with body shots. Both these guys need to go to the body. Valdez hitting that with the right hook to body, slowing Navarrete down enough. What I learned from this, every fighter has their kryptonite. Navarrete is Valdez's kryptonite. He's like the Tarver of Roy Jones, right? Bro, this is just a tough guy to fight in general. Like, you have to be like a really good fighter, like modern day elite. Bro, Valdez is eating. Oh my God, Valdez leads another uppercut. Oh my God, a right and a left. Yo, they're gonna have to stop this. Valdez throws a right that gets Navarrete off him, but Navarrete is just pouring shots, man. These are some vicious shots. Oh my God, these uppercuts that Navarrete is landing on Valdez is vicious. You got a sense that the ref was going to stop the fight until Valdez landed 2 good hooks, but oh my God, are we getting to the stoppage, man? Like, Valdez looks visibly tired and drained from that barrage of punches. Valdez is throwing with all his heart and all his might, and he's just, oh my God, a body shot drops Valdez. I think I even called it. I think I called it. It was a body shot that dropped Valdez. He's not getting up. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It is over. I said stoppage. Valdez will go down by mid-round stoppage. Maybe even a body shot. You couldn't even rewind it. It's done. I'm fucking. I want to say 3-0 so bad, but you can't beat this dude, man. You can't beat this dude. 130 and down, you can't beat him. You can't. Damn, my God. Navarrete landed an uppercut that cracked Valdez's chin and sonic boomed my speed. Bro, you saw how much effort Valdez was trying. I called it, man. Stoppage. I might not have the best scorecards according to some people from the Paro fight, but I still call it. Yeah, I felt that earlier. Some people were coming up my scorecard, but yeah, that body shot did it. Yeah, dude, it's not even just a body shot, bro. It's just everything, bro. From uppercuts, the hooks, the accumulations of punches. Oh my God, he caught him always swinging too, bro. That shit was bad to watch. Damn, you're 0-3, Mark. You picked Valdez. Listen, the more you watch your board, the more I tell you, man. It's. I don't want to say it's easy, but I have a little extra more insight, right? You know, I got the sauce. I'm just messing. I just saw what you guys saw. This dude Navarrete is like unbeatable. He's tall. He has a long reach. He's freakishly powerful. He throws awkward punches. He has one of the best uppercuts in boxing. He throws in combinations. You don't know how to defensively be like dude's a beast, and you can't even gauge him. When you hurt him, you can't even tell because he's always flopping around over the ring. You can't read him. You don't know when to actually take a chance. You don't know when to jump on him. What round was it? It was the 6th round, Daniel. Now we called it. Fair. I'll give it. You guys did instrumentally help. I was going all over the place. Destroyed Valdez, put him to a 2 in the can. That long drive home is gonna be tough. Yeah. Too big, too strong. Fight reminds me of Terry Norris and Medrick Taylor. Just too big. Just too strong. Yeah, man, he's just too powerful, man. I had 4-6 tell me it was before the 7th. It was before the 7th. It was the 6th round. Valdez is doo-doo. Too many wars. I knew he would lose. What up, GD? I was looking for you, man. But yeah, I also predicted Navarrete was going to win. 130 probably is his max, though. Yeah, if Navarrete goes to 135, he's getting cooked. I'll say that. He go 135. Tank cooks him. Shakur beats him. Keyshawn beats him. And Baranchek already beat him. So 130 is his max. He go 135, he getting cooked by all of them. But 130 and down. 130 and down, man. I mean, Oshaki Foster wants to fight that dude, man. I mean, Oshaki Foster versus Navarrete, what you think? Valdez looks like he wants to cry. Yeah, he's in a lot of pain, man. Like, he really put his heart and soul into that rematch. In his heart, he really believed that he was able to get that rematch. I mean, win that rematch. But it's okay, man. Like, it's not your fault. It's not like, it's not one of those fights where you can beat yourself up. You just are outmatched. And that's all it is. Like, if you have a good team in corner, you know, I know there's a lot of pride. There's nothing to be ashamed of that. So, I always said Navarrete is the king of 130. He delivers every single time. By far the most dangerous champ there. Valdez is not skilled enough. He's always in some wars. He needs to retire. Yeah, he's been in a lot of wars, man. Navarrete is getting cooked by everyone. Yep, I agree. Everyone at 135. There's not even a debate. Navarrete don't even look like he was in a fight. He got that good genetics. I don't know how, bro. Foster gets cooked. Foster would beat Navarrete. Foster's way more skilled than Navarrete. Navarrete was getting caught by Valdez for nothing. Here's the thing about Foster and Navarrete. I think Foster has the boxing ability, but he has the boxing perfect for 12 rounds. You know, which I feel like at times Foster can fall asleep a little bit on the wheel. And when you fall asleep a little bit on the wheel against a guy like Navarrete, moments can happen. Like Navarrete is a guy that could just spring on you and just knock you down or knock you out of nowhere. So, Foster still, from the last couple fights that I've seen, doesn't give me the confidence he beats Navarrete. Like, after Foster's lackluster performance, Navarrete's going to steamroll him. Foster's going to get hit by the left hook. He should stay away from Navarrete. Kenny Stone. Foster has a good chin as well. So, I like Foster, but I just don't know if he can go 12 straight rounds. You know what I mean? Like, if he can avoid and box perfectly, then yes. Like, picture perfect. Please, Valdez is not a boxer, right? Like, we can say that. Like, and a lot of people that Navarrete fights aren't boxers. A lot of them are like, they fight, right? Let me see. Navarrete. Like, let's look down. Like, he didn't really fight boxers, right? So Foster would be like his first kind of slick defensive boxer, right? So if Foster puts a perfect boxing clinic, then yeah, I think his skill set possesses the ability to beat him. Now, does he not get caught? I don't know. Navarrete's mad awkward, bro. And like, you see when a fighter who has a style who is like slick defensively, right? The way that you break that rhythm is be completely fucking awkward, smother them, throw punches everywhere, and it becomes ugly. Like Broner Maidana, right? And I think that Foster and Navarrete gives me more like Broner Maidana than Floyd Maidana, right? I don't know if Foster can box a perfect 12-round shutout. So Foster will beat Navarrete in my opinion. I respect it, I think Foster possesses the better skill style than Valdez, but I don't know, dude. Navarrete, when he turns it on, it's on. Nav will beat Foster and Casacal. Caught him so much. Nav's stronger. Don't think Shushu's going after Espinosa. He'd probably go for Leo or Ball now. I don't know what Shushu's gonna go for, to be honest. I think they're all good fights. I think Leo's probably a more manageable fight. Ball's a rough and tough fight. Ball's a bit like Pitbull just, and Espinosa's a beast, bro. So, I think I would move him to Angelo Leo first and then take on the two tougher guys. So, Foster's a better boxer than Navarrete. Oh, let's see what Valdez is saying. Navarrete's awkward, though. I'll give him that. He throws a lot of punches well. Foster doesn't have to be perfect. I think you're saying Foster does have to be perfect. Oh, Foster doesn't have to be perfect. I disagree. Oh, really? You think he can box 12 straight rounds and not be perfect? Okay, that's fair. Foster will land clean flush shots if he wants to, but Broner Maidana, dang, that fight was a classic. Never forgotten. I picked Maidana to win that fight too. Me and my dad had a debate, just because I looked at the weight class, man. Like, I'm glad Valdez lost again. That wants to happen when you cheat. He did fail a drug test, but look, I'll say this though, he did have heart of gold. You know what I mean? And he wanted to come back and fight Navarrete again, so I give him that, man. Yeah, Leo first. He would top rank, so yeah, fight Angelo Leo. I think Shushu should go there because it's only gonna get tougher with Nick Ball and Espinosa. The god of boxing punished Valdez for cheating. You believe in boxing gods too, GD? The boxing gods out there, they do. Boxing gods do believe in karma, so I know a lot of people weren't happy with Valdez failing his drug test, but it happens. Dang. Navarrete definitely reminds me of Chino Maidana a bit. Yeah, just awkward, relentless, hard punching, just hard to go, but too small and lack defense. I agree. I think this loss, Valdez can digest a lot better than he did the first one. Valdez got stopped in the 6th round with a body shot. He got dropped 3 times, too honest. Navarrete just demolished him. Bro, this dude is a freak, man. This boy Navarrete is a beast, bro. Like, what? How is he hitting this hard? Damn, dude. I'm watching the post reaction Navarrete praising Chavez. They asked him who's next. Oshaki Foster's there. Damn, Foster, that's a tough ass fight, bro. Navarrete is very hittable. And you know what? To add more credence to UGD, Navarrete was getting pummeled around by Liam Wilson. And he was getting pummeled around a little bit by who was he getting pummeled around by? Chris, was it? Who was the one? There was 2 guys. Liam Wilson was giving him hell, which Foster's way better than Liam Wilson. And Eduardo Diaz was giving him hell too. So, yeah, we'll see, man. Like, I have to dissect that fight later on. I would favor Navarrete, though, right now. Most likely, Shushu would take the IBF route, given Angelo can be beat. Just ask Fulton. And, yeah, let's see. And also with Alberto being out for a while, it should give Shushu the chance to challenge for it. Yeah, I think that's the smarter path. He can get hurt. Yeah. Honestly, Espinosa should move up and fight Navarrete soon. That would be a good fight. I don't know about that, bro. I think Navarrete cooks him too, man. I mean, it would be interesting. That boy Navarrete just hits too hard. Both for top-ranked fighters. Foster has some power that can hurt Navarrete. Yeah, can he, though? Shaq not looking confident in the crowd. Chill out. Navarrete got the KO power, KO now before going back to 135, like he talked about doing. Maybe he can unify belts in 130. Navarrete gets exposed by any other fighter of his height. Well, yeah, that's why we put a limit at 135. He's anyone versus Espinosa ASAP. I don't know if anyone's gonna move up in weight, and I think Espinosa might be end up moving in weight sometime soon too. He's a big guy. Did you watch the co-main? Yeah, I did. I didn't watch the full fight. I watched the tail end of it, and I saw that freak accident where he said he couldn't see no more. So GD says, I'm telling you, Navarrete will lose to Foster. Hey, GD, if you are 100% right, I'll give you credit. I'll give you 100% credit. You know what I mean? Because right now, I don't have a pick because the fight ain't made. Like, it's not official and stamp. I just right now feel like Navarrete will give Foster problems. I'm not saying Foster don't give him problems either. I think Foster will be one of his toughest fights because you've seen what Robson Castlecow was able to do to him, right? So I don't think it's far-fetched. I just do think that Foster has to be literally on his A game. Like, smooth, sharp, precise. Not have, like, slip-ups, you know, like he did in the first Robson fight or, even go to war with Rocky Hernandez. Like when he went to war with Rocky Hernandez, yeah, Rocky Hernandez ain't Navarrete. So Foster can fight multiple ways. I agree, but you can't fight aggressive with Navarrete. Personally, in my opinion, you don't. At least you don't want to be in these type of fights. Be real. Oscar in his heart and hearts believes Navarrete will beat Foster, though he will never admit it. Believes Navarrete would beat Foster, though he will. Yeah, I mean, inside and out. I think Oscar probably thinks he's probably the best guy around the weight. And personally, I wish Navarrete and Shakur were able to fight. You know what I mean? Espinosa should get more power and stronger when he doesn't drain himself so much. And I think Shakur beats him, but he could be going up, but Navarrete I just feel like he just has this insane power. Like look at the way that when he punches people, they just fall all over the place. He looks like a street brawler, bro, but he just ugh. I'm watching highlights of Valdez's mouthpiece getting knocked out. He would counter Navarrete a lot. Shakur would pick Navarrete apart. Oh, for sure. I just want to see it. I want to see a fight where a guy has insane offense and Shakur can show. Like, imagine Shakur able to do his defensive tricks with a guy that's that awkward. Crazy part, Navarrete doesn't even load up on his punches. He throws punches like Nate Diaz, but he hits like dynamite. He is like the Nate Diaz of boxing. Bro, he don't even load up. Like, so it's like, how can you tell what shots are going to hurt you when you're seeing a punch being thrown like... Bro, this is how Navarrete fights. And there's no disrespect to Navarrete. I'm just trying to say, like, punches like this all hurt like hell. So if you're thinking like, oh shit, okay, like how do you, and he's like the inflatable rubber wacky arms, bro, it's insane, bro. And his reach is insane. Navarrete has a good reach though. Yes, he does. It's insane. Yeah, Shakur is not small 135. He can really box. I think you have to be like, and I'm not saying Foster isn't, he just hasn't shown it yet to me, that you have to be an elite boxer to beat Navarrete. Like elite. Like elite. Espinosa will end the Inoue parade because up to that point, except for Donaire, other guys just go through and fold. Yeah. I mean, weight classes for a reason, bro. You're asking Inoue to go to 130. There's fucking 8 more pounds on top of him being where he started out. So Navarrete reach and height will be his downfall against someone who can fight in pocket like Shakur and Foster. You've seen it already with Branchek, right? And I think Branchek's like one of the weaker top guys at 135. I agree. Navarrete moving up to fight 140 or 147. Nah. I think Navarrete going to 140 and 147, he gets like some of the most biggest ass whoopings in boxing. Ain't no way in hell he could go to 147, Bailey. He's big, but like he can't get through 135. So if he can't get through 135, you know, and then when you get to 140, you got guys that could punch, guys that can box really well, like Poyo. Oh, Jesus. Paro is a good. Puello is a good boxer. Hitchens is a good boxer that has size and reach. Tio.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Google's tripping. Tio has like athleticism, good timing, and then Rayo Venezuela. I mean, he has power too, man. So. Nate Diaz trash. Blood got like 15 losses. He just comparing his slap punches, right? Keyshawn fights Branchek next. Bring Navarrete to Norfolk too. Woo! I will go to that pugilism. I will go. Keyshawn gets a belt and defends against Navarrete. I will go there. That's a good fight. And I think Keyshawn gets the job done. I think that's great. His story is inspiring considering he was a blue-collar roofer and now a 3-divisional, almost 4-divisional champ. Facts. That's why I was thinking, like, you know, he's the overachiever, you know, in his eyes. But every year you get a guy you never heard of from a country that of some sort of poverty or humble beginning, and then they out of nowhere just become like a 3-4 division world champion. You see it every year. Espinosa was the darling of this year, was it? So he was the one that just rose out of nowhere. Navarrete was like that a couple years ago. So yeah, I roasted Navarrete. I'm just keeping it real, bro. Like, his fundamentals is something you never would teach in boxing. If you had a pupil, I would never have him watch Navarrete and be like, this is how you fight. It's absolutely impossible to replicate it. He's just his own unique style, and he does it really well. It's ugly, it's awkward, it's unteachable, and yet he's still the man. Navarrete has long arms, punches from core, wing, and shots with leverage. That's a good point. Core, wing, and shots. Even though he looks like a sheet of paper. That boy is strong as hell. Defense wins championships. Navarrete lacks defense. Tio at 140 is ordinary. I get it, but you think he can go from 130 to 140 and fight Tio? I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Like, now you're asking him to be a 6th division world champion. It's not a lot of those. Hitchens versus Matias ASAP. I mean, it could happen. But Matias has to work his way back up in the IBF. GD is trying to justify Shaq, but if people like Robson and Rocky can rough up Shaq, it'll be a breeze for Navarrete to get it done. But I can see where GD's coming from. Yeah, I mean, Foster has the style to beat Navarrete. I just don't think he beats Navarrete. This dude is just you can't even train for him. Like, you just can't. How do you get sparring partners for him? Like, he's like, Navarrete comes from like the cloth of Kelly Pavlik. Just a frame that doesn't look in shape, winging shots from weird angles, powerful as fuck, can take a solid punch. Robson really beat Valdez. Robson's good. Yeah. I thought Robson beat Valdez and arguably could have beaten Navarrete. Gave everyone a tough fight, Had a close fight with Foster that people felt could have went to Foster. It's Venezuela, not Venezuela. A lot of knowledge teams call him that. It's Venezuela. I don't even want to butcher. I'm tired. I'm sorry. But yeah, I do say Venezuela. I do. I know. I'm sorry. I'll just say Rayo. Roster has great pop. He can hurt Navarrete and them. I just don't see it, man. But look, GD, you get it right, man. I'm going to be screaming GD for a whole week. I'll say that. If they fight and Foster wins, I'll get a GD shirt. Deal? I'll get a GD shirt. And I know you were critical on my scorecards, but on the same side, I did pick Richardson Hitchins to win the fight. So that's something we can't agree on. Even though you didn't like my scorecard. Where is Navarrete post-fight interview? They just did it in the ring. So George Foreman did not have fundamentals. Navarrete wings like young George. My guy Bailey, man, always showing love with the $2 super chat, man. Does anyone want to jump in and do like a last recap? I could post a StreamYard that if you guys want to talk afterwards. I'm gonna get some sleep, man. I'm tired. So if any of you guys want to jump up, just let me know. Just write in the chat. I'll put up the StreamYard. You guys can jump in here for like a couple minutes and get off a couple of your thoughts. Let me see. If not, I'm going to close the show pretty early. All you have to do is hire a drunk essay and a random boxer to spar and make them swap every round, and you got your plan to beat Navarrete right there. GD says, I know my boxing, man. All right. I'm going to throw that in real quick. Anyone wants to go on, I just want to make sure you guys have a place and a platform to speak your mind. If not, I'm going to close up shop because your boy's been on for how long? Is it almost 3 hours? 3 hours. So And thank God I didn't have to do all the undercards today. So, Tio versus Boots. Who you got, Balenciaga? I know Tio's been calling out Boots lately. So, someone jump in and make a comment. Yeah, and if you guys don't want to, it's fine. Like, I want to make sure that you guys, I just open up the lines. Navarrete dad bod fights like Mexican Chuck Liddell. Everyone could make jokes about Navarrete, but we all have to take our hat off, man. That dude is a problem. Boots easy. I got Boots, Balenciaga. I know that he looked like dog shit against Karen, but, you know, I feel like there's a lot of criticism on Boots, which is rightfully so, about the Virgil Ortiz and looking bad against Karen and not really looking too sharp against David Avenesian. I think I could make an excuse for everything about Boots, which I'm not. But I think ultimately if Tio and Boots fought, I think that Boots just possesses just the athleticism that can match Tio. And I think that it would be kind of an ugly fight to a certain degree because I think that Boots' defense still needs work. And I think that he'll get caught with some really good shots. But I think he'll eventually take over. He's just a bigger guy. You know, I think he's just too big. I think he's just too strong. I think Tio will have moments. But throughout the fight, I think he'll get broken down and probably be on survival mode. Probably go to distance. Probably get dropped once or twice. And, yeah, it wouldn't be really my hardest. Yeah, Boots easy. No, Boots is too big right now. Tio's a better boxer, but a little chinny. Yeah, so. And one thing I like about Navarrete is the way he times his rubbernecking, man, is so smooth when it's excellent timing. Well, he's just, someone said it best. T5 says Navarrete is the Benavides at 130. That's like the best. Can I make a comment on Boots? Yeah, go ahead. You can jump in. You can make a comment on Boots. Nah, Tio's not going into survival mode against Boots. I don't know, dude. If he got dropped a couple times, AS. Like, Boots is big, bro. Like, he's a big fucking guy. You know? But, look. If Tio goes up and beats him at 147, Tio... Look, I don't care what no one says. If Tio goes up and beats Boots... I know he's lost to Kambosos. If he goes up and beats Boots... That means on his resume he has Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, and Jerron Ennis. I'm sorry. Tio is a fucking Hall of Famer. By far ahead of other fighters. Like, think about that. Just think about that. He's essentially fighting the best guys in each division on paper. Right? You have to, like, Tio's not beating Boots, y'all. Correct. I don't think he's beating Boots. I don't. But if he, by God, beat Boots, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, you just can't even deny Tio. Like, that motherfucker be in my, like, top 5 pound for pound if he got Jerron Ennis on his resume. If he has Jerron's scalp on my resume, bro, you can't even hate. I just don't think he will win. He was the underdog against Lomachenko. I think he was the underdog against Josh Taylor. Even though I picked him to beat Josh Taylor because I didn't think Josh Taylor was in his prime still. But regardless. And, oh, yeah, Ron, I saw an interview that Eddie did with Chris that they were going to keep Boots at 147, focus on. Yep, they're definitely going to keep him there. I think Bailey, did you just jump in, Bailey, and dip out? I think I just saw you booping. Boots, even with his flaws, can beat everyone at 147. Yeah, he's the best guy at 147. Oh, please, Boots needs to get exposed already. He kind of did a little bit in that Karen fight. I'm not, you know, if that's what you're looking for. And if you really want to nitpick, his David Avenesian fight was kind of, and Sergey Lipinets had moments. Tio really lost to St. Martin. I agree. I did think so too. Yeah, Boots beats Tio. So Tio was happened to beat Boots, and Tio always steps up when he's the underdog, though. He does. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but if Kambosos said, Tio said he had injury in Kambosos, and why can't I not say Lomachenko wasn't injured when Loma said he was injured on his shoulder? He had his shoulder injury, right? So, but a win's a win. And then Josh Taylor, you know, I didn't think he was 100%, but a win's a win. So you have to take your head off and give it to him. Can't take those wins against him. He beat Loma before Devin did, in a less controversial way. and he beat Josh Taylor very decisively. So, but I simply think Tio's counter coupled with Boots' suspect defense would not allow the fight to become a beatdown on Tio, such that it will have to go into a survival mode. Okay, I respect that. He would keep Boots honest, I guess, what you're saying. He'll keep him honest, and at a certain point, it would not be a fight that it would be. All right, there you go. I got you, Bailey. They need to connect their mic and cam before you can add them to the stream. Okay. You're almost in, Bailey. So is Barbosa and Cat Art really in works? I don't know if they're in the works. They're in the mandatory. Like they've been, WBO mandated them. So. Yeah, it says your mic and camera isn't connected, Bailey. So, the advantage of Boots, for what I see, is that he does as well against smaller welterweights like Lipinets and David, but Tio is a good against bigger fighters like how he did in the John fight. So, yeah, he's a big ass guy, man. Tio's a good against bigger fighters like he did against Josh. Yeah, but I don't think Josh Taylor's fighting style is like Boots. You know, Boots' athleticism will match Tio's athleticism. And, you know, I think Boots has a good chin. And I think by far Tio will be facing his hardest puncher in his whole entire career. So, and would Tio be Duran's hardest puncher of his career? Possibly. So I could say the same for that way too. So, but chin wise, we haven't really seen Duran get tested. And, you know, Tio's fought the more higher IQ caliber fighter. So it'll be interesting. Tank is a pump for not fighting Tio. I mean, I would like to see that fight. You know, Tank is just in his own mind of what he wants to do. So I don't know if you're I don't know if you can get in, Bailey. I don't know if you're having issues right now. Boots versus Jesus Ramos 154 to test the waters. Yeah, I think Boots needs a 154 tester. You know, Virgil's had two that only lasted a round. He brought up a guy that was a 140 pounder, so I guess it doesn't really matter there. But you know, just to feel how comfortable you are at 154. Would you rather see Tio versus Crawford versus or Tio versus Boots? Not that former is ever. God, I feel like I would be a hater if I would say I want Tio versus Boots, right? Because Tio is the more accomplished fighter, right? And he came up with a similar path, right? Became a lineal at 135 and lineal at 140. So fighting the former lineal 147 pounder, but it would be at 154, you know, would make sense. But something about Tio and Boots sounds more interesting to me because like Crawford's a Hall of Famer at this point. Like I don't really need to see what Crawford's capable of, and Tio's on the cusp of legitimately like solidify himself as a Hall of Famer himself too. Boots hasn't had anybody like of any notoriety, and I think that Tio and Boots would be a fun fight. Two guys that are extremely athletic, who probably rely on their athleticism more than their skill, to be honest. And so, I think selfishly, I think Tio and Boots, because I just want to see Boots fight someone who would like, you know, I think Crawford versus Tio, I think Crawford would be, I don't know, I favor Crawford and Boots to be both Tio. So I think at the end of the day, I think Bud is the better offensive counter puncher though. And I feel like amongst those three, Crawford's the best fighter. So you take number 2 and number 3 on that list of those three guys you mentioned and put them against each other. And that's how I look at it. So I think just Crawford capitalizes people's own mistakes way better than anybody out of those three. And Boots is athletically gifted, and he'll be able to do certain type of stuff that would kind of make up for some of his lack of skills that he, I think, is capable of doing. He just doesn't show it. I think just Crawford's offensive counter puncher would catch Tio. You know, I know Tio's mentioned that Crawford throws wide punches. So does Tio. Tio says he throws compact punches, but he be throwing wide winging punches as well. And he has problems with movers. And I think Crawford would set him up and then he'll finish it. Just Crawford's a better finisher. Teal and Boots would just be the fight. All right, I think you're in, Bailey. Yep, I got you. Perfect. All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, Bailey. I had you on mute. I had to pull it up. I'm sorry. If you want to repeat that for the chat, that was my bad.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. Uh, I don't know why everybody is like sleeping on Boots. Boots is a talented fighter, extremely talented. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
He's extremely talented. And from in the first Karen fight, I noticed that Boots had to take his game up a level because Karen is just that special. And people sleep on Karen. You're a gym rat. You know good fighters. Go back, watch the first fight, turn the volume down. These casuals, man, but Karen is a good fighter. Okay, he was good enough to get a second crack at Boots. So he had to be good enough to keep winning to get that second crack. Some people even get the first one. Boots showed me he was special in that first fight by adapting to Karen's style. Karen threw several things at him. To Karen's credit in that first fight, and I was amazed. I knew Karen was special. I said, man, this guy's tough. And I even said, they're going to fight again. I called it. They're going to fight again. Karen's going to be a champion. And guess what? They fought again. They fought again. This time, I believe that Karen would have an opportunity if he came straight at him and gave Boots a fight. He's going to give Boots problems. And that's exactly what he did. He came straight at him, gave Boots problems. Boots took it up a level to beat him the second time. Boots, you guys are sleeping on Boots. Yeah, he looked good the first fight. That's what made me know. That's when I knew Boots was special. Go back, Ron, and watch that fight. Turn it down, and you'll see the first one. You'll see both guys are special.
I was at the first fight, and to be honest with you, like I know that we're gonna differ in opinions. I thought he actually was undisciplined in that fight. I thought he was forcing and looking for a knockout. I thought his inability of cutting off the ring. Yes, I think Karen in the two fights have shown that he has great footwork actually, but it showed that mentally that Boots as an experienced thing hasn't really matured as an elite fighter, and maybe because of the certain attention that he's gotten, maybe the lack of top competition of work he's gotten. But I do feel that Karen is, in my opinion, is a good fighter, and Boots has freakish athleticism. And I think now that he's relied so much more on his athleticism, that he has not really practiced his skills. It's almost like he's plateaued, right? And
I can be more specific if you want me to.
I mean, I've seen Boots. I've covered him. I went to his gym. Like, I guess for a certain degree, how would I say it? I see what he can do, and I see what he's doing. and I'm seeing, how would I say, there's mistakes in that Karen fight that doesn't make me feel that Karen is this right here. It makes me feel that Boots didn't do what he was supposed to do in training camp.
I'm telling you, man, Karen is that much there.
I don't think so.
That much. I've been watching fights a long time. That guy's good. Now I'm gonna tell you where Boots is special. Boots can adapt, and he throws great inside punches. That is tough for fighters to do. Fighters don't know, and he throws them off the pivot. That is special. That's that special sauce. He throws his punches off the pivot, kind of Holyfield-ish. And when you can throw off that pivot, you can throw from all different angles. Shorten him, and that's how he knocked Karen down the first time. Karen came at it.
But
He threw the small, short, compact punches off that angle, knocked him down.
I think he it was desperate in the attempt of actually, like, I'm gonna fight you. That's, I think, and I think he put the big size pressure, and I think you can, how would I say it? You can look at the end of that fight, he was tired. Like, this dude is a freakish athletic kid who's tired by the third round. Like, literally walking. I'm talking about, his hands is here, and he's just walking as flat foot, more flat foot I've ever seen in my entire life of Boots. Going to the gym, seeing him at his other fights. I'm telling you right now, from my inside experience, I have never seen Boots look flat-footed in my entire life.
Ron, but listen to this. I hear you, but we're talking about, so you guys not giving Karen enough credit. He's a special fighter, and you guys not giving Boots enough credit. Boots took it up a level, even more so.
I don't think so.
Look, Boots from that fight will learn. He will learn. And I'm going to tell you this. He has fought the toughest competition out of all the young guys, even Shakur and those guys from fighting Karen lately. Who has fought someone like that lately, recently? They're just talking about fights. They're not making the fights. He done faced a tough guy twice. He's going to learn from this. With his special talent, just like Holyfield did, just like all the young fighters, they had to go through something. Holyfield went through it with the White Cowie. He had to go through something. They had to go through this. They had to go through it. Yeah, they were up there. Then they got challenged. You got to meet that threshold, get past that threshold, go back to the drawing board, and you're going to be there. Boots is there. They're sleeping on both Karen and Boots. Those are good fighters, extremely good fighters.
Well, I appreciate your opinion. You know, like I said, the platform's there for you, you know, even though we can disagree. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the only thing that's going to be able to determine this over time is hindsight in the future. If Karen goes off and starts cooking everybody, what you're saying holds weight and it merits itself. You know, if Boots goes out there, doesn't perform well, Karen gets beat by essentially a nobody, you know, obviously we know what that means, you know.
Why did not call them out, bro? Everybody calling out the other fighters but him.
Because it's unmarkable. Like, the only reason why you would call Karen if you're a guy that don't exist on the radar, and the only way you can get on the radar is beating a guy that essentially made Boots look mediocre, right?
Okay, guy, listen to what you're saying. He just went 24 rounds with possibly one of the best young fighters in the game, and probably would have beat him if it wasn't for that knockdown.
But the thing
how
with
is he not marketable?
But because it's Karen. It's just, here's the thing. Boots is still a guy who's trying to build his name in the sport of boxing, right? And he's forced to fight Karen's is mandatory, which doesn't actually elevate his profile, which his ticket sales dropped tremendously from the David Avenesian fight, from his first homecoming. And because of that, you know, he was extremely unmotivated, is what he said. And he didn't do the right things and such, which I felt was the case, you know, before he even said it. I've never seen Boots look extremely tired. It makes me feel like whatever's happening in the camp needs to get fixed. You see it right
Right.
after
So
the
let me
Virgil
throw this at
Ortiz.
you, Ron. Let me
The
throw this at you. So we got Schofield and we got what's the other young fighter, Norman? They're talking about fighting Boots, right? They haven't fought anybody like Karen. Nobody like this guy, right? So you're saying he's not marketable. Now you're talking to a lawyer. So you're saying that he's not marketable. Why don't those guys beat him and say, I deserve to fight Boots because this guy went 24 rounds with him and I just knocked him out.
I think Brian Norman has a Brian Norman's win against Santillion is better than Karen, in my personal opinion. Like it's better than Karen. The only thing that can kind of be close to Santillion is Roman Villa, because Roman Villa beat Rashidi Ellis. Rashidi Ellis beat Alexa Rocha. Now Alexa Rocha got cooked by Brian Santillion. Brian Santillion was Manny Pacquiao's and Floyd Mayweather's sparring partner, a guy that got experience from 2 Hall of Famers. He was technically the favorite to beat Brian Norman, and Brian Norman beat him. And at the end of the day, these guys' resumes aren't really fancy or explosive to me. So it's
They could at least make a name by saying, I fought and beat Karen. He went 24 rounds. That's why I should fight Shakur Core. That's why I should fight Devin Hayes. That's why I should be next up. No, they're saying I should be next up just because I deserve to be here.
No, but the thing is, guys like Blair Cobb said I would fight Karen. But why would Mario Barrios fight Karen? What does Mario Barrios get when there's names like Conor Benn that's more marketable? There's guys like Manny Pacquiao, which probably won't happen. There's unifications fights.
Let me ask you this: If Blair beats, if Blair
Villa
beats
did get knocked
Karen,
out in 2 rounds.
if Blair beats Karen and Karen needs a dentist, you get that one. But if Blair beat Karen, then who's to say that Blair doesn't deserve a fight with the top tier guys because Karen went 24 rounds with Boots? Then Blair can legitimately say with credibility, I deserve to be in there with Shakur Haney because I beat the new young talent. Karen is marketable. They're avoiding it, man.
I don't know, man.
That's my opinion. Thanks, Ron.
No, I've totally. The platform's there for you to give your opinion. Obviously, we can go back and forth. I might sound like a hater, which really not. I'm being extremely, I guess, critical. It's a brand new division. Like, it's almost empty. Almost like everyone has to pump life into what's considered credible. Karen could be later on be a credible opponent, but as we sit still and look at resumes, like all these guys have atrocious looking resumes. And I know that you're assessing not resumes, but what you see. I just honestly feel like, as gifted and as athletic as Boots is, I think that there's so many defensive flaws and offensive. Like the reason why he went 12 is because Boots couldn't cut the ring off of Karen, and then Karen changed his style in the second fight, and Boots essentially struggled with that. And I think his lackadaisical approach to the fight game, he clearly didn't know about the Virgil Ortiz negotiations that was going on. Like, there's a big red flag when you go from disconnecting from your business side, from disconnecting from, the fights that you want to get made, to the motivation and the lack of. He's even told me the reason why it went 12 is because he was trying to force a knockout, and he was trying to. Well, you don't force a knockout. That's an immature lack of experience of a fighter. And as gifted as you are, those type of experience that he's getting will help him. But as of right now, I'm just looking at Boots as a guy, as talented and as athletic as he is. He doesn't get my praise until he does something that's
kind of reminds you of a young Holyfield, doesn't it?
Holyfield was a silver, essentially should have been a gold medalist in the Olympics, right? Like, he was an Olympian.
Was a gifted boxer. You piss him off in the ring, he loses his temperament. He's coming at your head.
I can't do that.
That's exactly what happened with Boots.
I can't do that because Holyfield is like proven before he even turned pros. He was on one of the best Olympic teams ever.
I'm talking about his when he gets angry. Boots is just like that, a special talent Can't control it when it's necessary. He loses his discipline. Holyfield did the same thing. Can box you. He did against Riddick Bowe. I'm gonna outbox you, but then I'm gonna get pissed off and try to take you out. You're gonna piss me off. I'm gonna try to take you out. I'm trying too hard to try to take you out instead of boxing you, using my technical skill. And if the knockout comes, it comes. That's what happened with Boots. He just got to get past that. He will. He will.
We'll see. You're being hopeful. You're being optimistic. I guess this is my realistic pessimist, and that's your optimism, which is your realistic approach. We'll see. You know, at the end of the day, he's gonna have to make a move because at the end of the day, he has to control his career. Him not getting unification 147 and not fighting Virgil is just gonna halt his career at
Thanks, buddy.
So, all right, Bailey, appreciate the time. You know, always showing support. I might do a live tomorrow, but anytime you want to jump on or whatnot, just you just open a line like you did in the chat. I'll let you speak. Friendly debate, you know what I mean? Friendly insight. I appreciate you participating as always, and you're one of the top
On a
guys.
note, man, hey guys, give me at least $2 damn. Come on, man. This commentary was worth at least $2. Come on. Don't be cheap.
I appreciate it.
Reach in your pocket and give me at least $2, man. Support the channel so we can grow. This guy is the value of what he's bringing us is more than worth $2. He's bringing us world-class interviews. Who's to say that where else can you go and speak to a top fighter in the game? That's worth $2. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you, Bailey. Means a lot. Thank you, my man. You stay safe, man. Thanks for always participating. All right, y'all. Like I said, I'm tired. I'm gonna wrap up. I appreciate Bailey jumping in. And at the end of the day, he raises a lot of great points, right? At the end of the day, we have to see, right? I believe Boots has passed eye tests for a very long time, but at the same time, he's been criticized for a lot of his eye test failures, right? When you get compared to Roy Jones and the guy that made Terrence Crawford and Spence shaking the boots, there's going to be high praise, but also high criticism. So, but Bailey's been watching boxing for a long time as well. So, he's definitely given him his fair shake, and I'm definitely being hard on him, because that's what we do. We critique on what their last performance are. Very fickle. Not saying that just because he looked like this in Kieran doesn't mean he doesn't beat Virgil Ortiz. It's just the fact we didn't get him to fight Virgil Ortiz, right? And that's why everyone's upset, all right? So now he takes more criticism. So until he gets those marquee fights that we want to see, we're always going to be skeptical and always be fickle. So, yep, and we respect everybody's opinion here because everyone watched boxing. Everyone's entitled. So, but all right, y'all. I'm losing my voice at this point. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. I've been on live for 3 hours and 30 minutes. I got some interviews that'll be dropping up coming this week. If you guys haven't checked the channel, there's a lot of Richardson Hitchins stuff. My boy Kevin Garcia is out. Nick Noonan's out in Puerto Rico. So I haven't even seen him. We got Coach Kenny. I think Richardson Hitchins. I think he called out Devin Haney. There's a lot of stuff out there. So if you guys just give it a chance and check it out, I have to go check it out myself. Then we'll get some good stuff out there. So you guys take care. Appreciate it, AS. Balenciaga, Fanboy Killer, Mr. Quake, T-Fock. Hopefully I say your name right. T-Fock, Mark, Attorney Bailey, Puglism. You know everyone that comes in. You guys, Khan, No Way Jose. You guys are the truth. So as always, another great live. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys rocking. These smaller, intimate streams. Like I keep hinting, got some big stuff in the works. Dan Keyshawn said F Hitchens. Yeah, I gotta watch that too. There's some issues. They've had some beef. And maybe I'll save it for the next live. So Jello Hackett definitely took a loss. Mark Castro took a loss. I expected a Mark Castro because he's been looking mid professional, you know. Or it could be a matchroom curse, man. You know, Jalil Hackett, very eager to jump in competition, took some tough fights, and he paid a price. But he took the loss very classy. He didn't blame it on nothing. He had no excuses. So at the end of the day, shout out to him. You know, he'll get back in the ring. He's still young. So maybe I'll do an interview with Jalil Hackett, you know, for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And, you know, I got relations with them, so I can reach out. So I can do something. So I blame Ron for Richard win diabolical. I really should say 3-0, but, you know, I didn't get to really call it Espinosa fight tonight. But 2-0, you know, remember that. At the end of the day, we may all disagree, may all have different opinions, but you always got to remember who got the shit right. And I got it right back to back tonight. So good stuff. Appreciate you, Bailey, as always. Castro got away with a lot of low blows, man. Got away a lot of stuff in his professional career. So anyways, you guys have a great day. As always, the best chat in the world. You guys have a good, safe one. It was a fun night. And Valdez, man, just enjoy your time, bro. You've took a lot. You took a lot out there, man. A lot of tough fights. So appreciate you doing the rematch, and you a G, man. You guys take care.